Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Carrying the load for this offense. Rocco Beck's had the hot hand. It's checked empty. Beck will keep it himself inside the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa State. As Cook fakes right, he'll roll to the left on a design quarterback waggle. He'll throw it off the back foot. It's picked off. Picked off by Welch at midfield. He cuts it to the far sideline at the 40. He's down to the 30. He is thrown out of bounds. Another interception. And the Rebels do get that critical stop.
Extra tight end in.
Take a look at the rusher at the top.
Warner. You can be resourceful. Now he's running out of time and throws it away, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kansas. Devin Dye with the interception. Look at Pickett again. Touchdown. Number 2 for number 7 today.
So it brings on the punt unit. And it's a deep, big, booming punt for Maynard, looking like his dad with that huge punt down at the 2. They march up to the 3. Still a brilliant punt by Cole Maynard, the son of Brad, who was a punter in the NFL for 15 years.
A little bit of a stunt up front, and Sims on a screen inside the 30. Blasts his way down to the 22. Clock stops, marked at the 21. Caleb Freeman is the holder. Snap, kick is up and good, and Hawaii has done it.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
I'm doing all right. My
I don't
headphones
really love that.
aren't doing great.
Yeah, I don't love it either.
Not really sure.
You sound a lot better there.
What's happening right now. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Something happened.
Why?
Oh, mine work now. Nope, they're gone. This is good. DB, how was your weekend?
You can play with the knobs, see what happens. Go ahead.
All right, we're gonna see what happens. I think it's a wiring issue here.
Yeah.
We're just gonna do
It's
that real
gonna
quick. See what happens.
Yep, there you go. There went the whole voice. Let's not do that again. That was not yours. Don't touch things that don't belong to you.
Well, yeah, just cutting in and out. So that's gonna be great.
How great.
Just terrific. How was your weekend, DB?
Weekend was chill. We a lot of football, man. A lot of football. We stayed busy Friday, Saturday. We had yesterday off. And now it's gonna be a heck of a week. Today's actually kind of a light day for a Monday. I've got the Husker Radio Network tonight. I've got Big Red Wrap Up tomorrow. I've got Nebraska City tomorrow. I leave Wednesday. We got prep for North Wednesday, and then we're rolling. You're gonna annoy me with that, so let's try to. Yeah,
it works right now, so I'm just gonna hold it right here.
Okay,
The entire show.
Not even gonna hold you.
This is the one place that it works.
And a lot of volleyball.
A lot of volleyball this weekend.
Yeah.
We got to see Nebraska get off to a nice 2-0 start.
Well, I tell you, that's a man. I don't know. It's given me. It's given me mid-90s vibes.
Yeah.
Repeat state championship vibes. It's very, and they didn't win it, so like hear my heart.
Mm-hmm.
When you're really, really good,
yeah, which obviously they are,
and you have tremendous depth, and you get off to good starts, the tricky thing to navigate is time.
Yeah,
because you cannot fast forward.
You got to go through all the steps.
You got to go through all of it.
Yeah.
And for them, it's strange because it's championship or bust.
Oh, yeah.
So
like you have to win a national title.
So all of this is just, yeah, that's cool. But you have to continue to get better.
Yeah,
so there's the reality of it, and then there's how you really have to approach it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be
it's hard not to feel like you have 3.5 months to waste before your season starts.
Yeah, and I think what really, 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 really helps in situations like that is when you have the better your culture is and the more competitiveness you can have during the day.
Yeah.
it can eliminate. It doesn't.
So that's where the high end.
It doesn't eliminate, but it can really. If you're competing every day
against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can hold you.
So that's where the high end depth comes into play in terms of like you can't ever really get comfortable because you don't even know if you're gonna.
I mean, you go ones versus twos versus ones, twos versus twos. You do that quite a bit with guys that really feel like they should be playing.
Right.
It stays spirited.
Well, yeah, and
you have to, like, your standard is your standard. It's just, I think it's really, really interesting the timing of the coaching change between Coach Cook and DBK.
Yeah.
Because while Cook was fantastic, clearly, DBK may be just what this team needed.
Yeah.
For this year, right? With the
rotations,
stylistically, all of the above.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of liken it to Coach Samanji taking over for Coach Frank. All right, you lose a championship caliber Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
You bring in a guy with a ton of success and championship caliber.
Very different temperament.
But the right mindset at the right time.
Yeah.
Like, you needed a certain personality.
Yeah.
And drive to deal with senior-laden, older Ryans and Rezaks and Eckharts and Benning. Like, you needed, like, a fresh perspective did not hurt.
Sure.
Because his slate was blank. There were no preconceived notions. So whatever he wanted, he wanted. It didn't matter who you were. And I think for that team, it was good timing.
They needed a little bit of that.
Yeah, it was good timing. So hopefully with these guys, with DBK, it will be something similar, because I'm telling you, it's hard.
Yeah.
And unless that's how you're built. And I mean, she had so many funny one-liners.
Yeah.
Like, when you're literally using real game to evaluate your rotation.
Yeah.
Against top 10 teams in the country.
Yes.
Like, that's funny to me.
It's a little silly. It's a little silly.
Like, that's funny to me.
Yeah.
You know, so, but that's the position that's the position they're in. I like the fact that I like the staffs. You watch them like close, like mess with each other and kind of, you know, they're lighthearted. You know, they still go to work. You know, she makes the jokes about, you know, they need to brush up on their music a little bit. Like, Coach Busboom Kelly and I would get along because she uses a lot of music references.
Yeah.
A lot of lyric references. Brush up, man. It's funny that way. Funnier. But no, it was a very I learned a lot this weekend about a lot. I know there'll be some sweeping judgments. You know, Iowa State, K-State, Kansas, UNLV for that matter. I don't know. It's a funny sports weekend. I am glad that the Yankees got off the schneid, because I did not. I just did not want Boone having that sphincter puckered up all the rest of the year every time the Yanks were on television. So
I think that would be terrific. I would love that.
Fuzz, they were almost going to have to change the name on the lease. Red Sox Inc., because there was some serious ownership going on. But
still 8 out of 10 this year. Still 8 out of 10.
Well, that's crazy.
That is bonkers, especially because it's like, I get that the Red Sox have been playing really well, and I think it's over the last 65 games. They're like 41-25, which I think is second to the Brewers. But it's not like this has been like a vintage juggernaut Red Sox team. Like, this isn't 2018.
Well, they're getting it different ways.
Yeah, they're fine. They're a pretty good team. It's not crazy.
He said they're fine. They're fine.
Maybe I'll turn around on them like I did the running back room, you know? Go from just fine to a little better than that.
Yeah, do you like my heads today?
I do. We got one John Butler and one Big Head Rule.
Yeah, I went with I have a couple.
Yeah,
I have some new ones too of Coach Rule. I went with the larger head Coach Rule.
We need to
for a play on words.
We need to get one that better represents his new svelter figure.
Yeah, he'd probably appreciate that too.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't think this is no longer an accurate representation of the old ball coach.
No, he's definitely fit as a fiddle.
He's leaning out.
Yeah, he is. He feels the pressure of everybody else looking better.
So he's got to keep up.
They'll there'll be no fat shaming going on either.
No, of course not.
Yeah. So he's not getting that from his own team.
So you mentioned Iowa State, Kansas State. Obviously, Iowa State, Kansas State went about how we thought it would go in terms of at least the two of us.
Yeah.
That wasn't – I wish the elements had been a little bit better. Obviously, that wasn't the cleanest game that we were going to see all year. I was pretty happy with my Matt Campbell, Iowa State boys over there. My guy Rocco Becht, my personal favorite. But you talk about sweeping judgments. Do you take anything from that? You just go, hey, they're both in the Big 12. I think they're both kind of who we thought they were.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah,
I do. I mean, I liked Iowa State to win. I think Iowa State was better defensively early on than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
They figured out a way to handle K-State's pressure.
Yeah.
Which, and it's hard to guess or imagine what the impact of losing Dylan Edwards was too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That changed them dynamically. But for the most part, I felt like, Avery Johnson, he played well enough to win.
Yeah.
Like he balled. And Iowa State just made plays. And I think that's actually going to be who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every which way but loose. I liked Iowa State in that one.
The Dylan Edwards thing is super interesting because that happens before they take an offensive snap, right? Happens on the punt return. That gets muffed or however you want to. Yeah, he didn't actually fumble. It was a muff punt.
Yep.
And I do wonder, the other guys looked okay, but Dylan Edwards is a special type of talent.
Clearly different.
Yeah, and I do wonder, though, how much the elements would have, his running style, how much that – you saw guys slipping and sliding all over the place. Yeah. That may have neutralized him a little bit as well. I don't know. I honestly, at certain points, sort of forgot that he was out.
Oh, shoot, I didn't.
I mean, I'm just watching the game, and you're like, oh, I haven't seen Edwards. Oh, yeah, he's not playing. So I just kind of sit there, and I go, I do wonder how much that matters. There is, as well as Avery Johnson.
You surprised at the inability to just catch the football, or did you chalk that up to the elements?
I thought it was elements. I don't know what else to do with that. I mean, typically in a power conference Division I football game, you don't see that a lot. So I was assuming it was just field and vision and all that kind of stuff. It didn't, and also the way they were not catching it, right? The way the misses were happening.
Well, I felt like that was a lot of it. A lot of 98, 99 mile an hour heaters.
Yes.
And just stylistically, I'm like, you guys got to adjust kind of for the weather. And we just kept seeing a lot of the same thing, and ultimately it ended up costing K-State a couple balls to the – well, it actually didn't help Iowa State either. They had some key ones too.
So they had some bad drops as well. I thought that the Iowa State offense did a better job of sort of adjusting to the elements.
I did too.
And figuring out, hey, these are some things we can do.
I did too.
And then salting them away with Hansen at the end as well. That dude had a huge, second half. That yes, Bob had a huge second half.
My voice is so bad I can't even sing. So I know
it sounds better than it did last week.
I know you get, but I got nothing. I can't go. No,
you can't get. You need me to do it for you? You need me to help you out a little bit?
No, I got nothing.
Do it.
Yeah, I can't get there.
No. Can't get into that falsetto range today.
No, can't get there. Not even close.
Coming up on the show today, we're gonna have our regular on Monday, Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald at 8:00. We've got DB's guy, Jay Foreman, former Husker, coming up at 9.
Brother can't get his bread.
He can be my guy too, but he's more your guy.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get Jay. It won't take much, but I'll get him lit up.
All right, quick. We'll see what happens there. And then at 9:45, we're going to talk a little more Husker volleyball with Anna Bellinghausen from Hurrdat Sports. She will be joining us to wrap up the show today. That is.
Should I get into the nitty gritty with AB? I have some questions.
I think you should. Let's get after it.
Yeah.
Let's dig deep.
I typically don't prep my guests.
Yeah.
But I do have some technical questions. I don't know. Nebraska got a lot of options.
They do have a lot of options.
Offense out of the back, that oppo right side, stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's going to be like,
nerd.
I hope not. I mean, but hey, listen, you want to come on as that's what if I'm deferring, shoot, you better know. You think I enjoy asking Sam football questions? No.
I think you love it.
Not really.
I think it's your favorite.
Like, why would I defer?
Well, sometimes you want the kickoff in the second half. That's why.
Oh. You're dumb. Did you think you were going to see the new rules happen with the injury with Iowa State, K-State? Did you feel like they just missed it?
We got one, I thought, right? We got the one where they burned the timeout on Iowa State. I'm going to be on. I don't know that I love this.
Well, it doesn't really do much. It's kind of what was always the deal.
Sort of, but like I don't know. Like if it looked like the Iowa State guy genuinely got hurt. Am I missing that?
So the word we're using now is feigning, right?
Yeah, because faking is a little too strong, I guess. So feigning, which means the exact same thing, is better, apparently.
I think so.
We could just call it like the con man. I don't know.
Are you logged in, or are you just going to hold that thing all day?
I got to wait for a code from Sasha to log in.
Incredible.
So that's what I'm waiting on.
It's fine. I don't need to be in the stream anyway.
I mean, you don't, but then you miss out on all our comments.
Are they any good?
I'm not there yet because I've had yours in front of me this whole time.
Oh.
I'm just going to double laptop this thing all day.
Makes sense. I saw I picked up some breakfast to go. I was dying to get some sausage patties. And I heard this particular establishment around town has really good sausage patties. So I was coming back from Channel 7, which is on 8th and Pacific. So I have a lot of range of places that I can hit on my way back out to my house on a Sunday morning. And I happened to see, well, this shirt struck me as odd. There was a big blue Creighton hat, and then it's kind of sweet. It was like dark with the gray panels.
Mm-hmm.
And on the shirt it said "Proud Jay's Grandpa."
Oh, I don't think I've seen that before.
I'm like, I don't know if I've seen that. That might be specially done.
Yeah, that might be a custom job.
Yeah. So of course, me being the weirdo that I am, it felt like a safe spot because this place it's kind of hipstery.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get. You don't get an athletic vibe there, so I felt okay. Right, probably more granola than gridiron. And I said, "Hey, proud grandpa or like really proud grandpa?" And he's sitting down and I'm standing up. He looks up slow and he goes, "Pretty proud." I was like, this might not be my guy. Turns out I looked a couple seats down and it was none other than Jay Johnson.
There you go.
Our mom and grandpa and grandma grabbing some breakfast. I did not embarrass her. I wanted to.
Did you nerd out? You asked for an autograph?
I thought about,
You seem more like a picture than an autograph guy.
So I said.
Although you don't like taking pictures either.
So I was pacing a little bit because I didn't want to be penned in.
Yeah.
And Grandpa eventually warmed up to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "You nervous?" I said, "No." I said, "But another 2 minutes and I'm going to break one of my own social rules. Like when I'm out, I'm going to ask for a picture and send it over to my buddy, Matt DeMarinis."
Mm-hmm.
And her mom's like, "Oh, go ahead." And I was like, no. I said, "All bets are off, though, if I got to wait here a little while longer." Like I'm trying not to put my hands in my pockets, but
just keep pushing.
You could just tell, like, she didn't really enjoy being in public either. So I was not going to, continue to double down.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And what else?
Join a little fan club?
Yeah, I'm a huge, as you guys know,
yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
Now, her teammate is pretty incredible. I mean, how good is Ava volleyball in this state legitimately on the collegiate level has 2 legit candidates for player of the year. Minimum.
Yeah.
And Ava Martin and Andy Jackson.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Andy Jackson's going to end up being Nebraska's best player.
I was going to say, do we even know if Andy Jackson's the best player on her own team?
No, she's incredible.
No,
there were stretches last year where I clearly thought she was their best player.
Yeah.
Now, best athlete? For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I like DeMarinis' thought where you could make the case she may be Nebraska's best athlete on campus.
The universities.
On campus.
Yeah.
Now, Jeremiah Charles will give her a run for her money.
Yeah.
He is freaky gifted.
Yeah.
In a lot of areas. But she's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but We just saw a lot of good volleyball. I did geek out for just 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I got a question. Do you guys like running out during the entrance, or were you like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna biff it? Her mom kind of chuckled, and she was like, I was kind of wondering. Some of the moms and I were like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna make it. I was like, see, I'm not the only one. This is a long way to run. And you kind of had to meander around the corner.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Do they think that's fun?
I mean, the entrance was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was a pretty cool entrance.
Yeah. Did you see the hyphenated Coach Cauley for Penn State? She's kind of looking around at the audience, and she nods her seal of approval. Like, yeah, it's better than Happy Valley. Take that. Defending national champ. Nah, I'm just childish like that. But it was just a cool environment.
No, it was. It was a great event, the AVCA First Serve event. It was a super cool way to kick off the volleyball season.
Yeah. I'm locked and loaded. It is game week. That's it, man.
Are you locked in? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm super locked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know if I shut my huddle down all week. We'll be ready. We will be ready. We'll see. It's an opener and it's high school, but we will be ready. And I guarantee you Nebraska will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like we have a confident Matt Rule.
Yeah, that's why I went with the bigger head.
Go Big Red.
I know this isn't my favorite head I have of him.
Yeah.
But I went with the one that was a little larger in look because I do think he's pretty confident.
He seems pretty confident.
Yeah.
That seems like a man who likes his football team.
Did you like his presser?
I did like his presser.
Yeah.
I thought the captains were interesting.
Yeah, I did too.
Because that's new.
I did too. I didn't have the stones, and I should have got him back after some of his terrible jokes up at the podium. I did hit him with one. Which
what was wrong with the jokes? I thought they were pretty good.
He immediately fired back, and I'm like, shouldn't you be working? That's what everybody complains about.
I thought he was.
I thought you're 23 hours and 51 minutes a day of work, buddy.
Yeah, what the heck?
No, he clapped back.
All right, just make sure everybody knows.
He clapped back pretty quick.
He's got that 1 extra hour a week. To do the podcast. I don't know. you hear him. You're sure to make sure to slip in though. It's like, oh, we got a lot of this done beforehand.
Yeah. No, my favorite was, I can't remember. Have we seen this one? Was that in this recording? In one of the podcasts I said.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Kind of letting you know. Some few of these are banked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what I was trying to say
last
week.
Last
week. I was like, how do we know when he's even recording them? And at that point, I didn't even know.
Ain't nobody know.
I didn't even know. Did I say new?
Yeah, you did say new.
I didn't even know.
You also said penned
I don't know.
in.
Honestly,
so I don't know.
I also said what?
Penned in.
That's not what I
said.
said.
That's 100% what you said.
said
Let's ask Jacob later.
I said penned in. Hopefully he's still busy writing and recovering from volleyball.
He's definitely going.
He was non-existent in the volleyball chat.
He's busy. He's working.
So was Matt.
Yeah, but
Matt was actually there and he was responding.
This is not a slight to our guy Jacob. Matt's a better multitasker.
Listen, I've sat next to Jacob.
I know. He's locked.
Yeah, it's incredible.
He's not paying any attention to you.
I've sat 3 seats away from Jacob in the same facility when he has his notepad and pencil out, and I've texted him from just to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no getting him off his game.
He looked at it and just ignored.
Yeah, I want to know what his volleyball notepad looks like because he's still a spiral guy.
Yeah, I've seen the basketball one, and it looks like a beautiful mind. Like I can't really make heads or tails of it.
What's her name? Jennifer Connelly?
Yeah, I got Jennifer Connelly
and Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe in there, doing the whole genius whatever on the board thing. Like
I'm glad you got these guys going on the.
What did I do?
Because you don't know the difference between pen and pen.
I got a hard time with the headphones this morning. That's probably the problem.
A lot of gum.
A lot of gum in the ears. It's all gummed up.
Yeah.
Must be a lot of gum in these headphones this morning. It's
Are they working better?
Not at all, no.
How was the weekend?
My weekend was all right.
What'd you go up? Mow? Did you edge? What'd you do?
No, I did. So I was having I did have a guy come out and help out with the yard this weekend.
Was it just out of control?
It was. So I haven't really talked about it on air yet. I had a thing happen with my eyeball a couple weeks ago. And so I haven't been able to, like, I'm not allowed to do anything really.
Yeah.
And like my doctor specifically is like, do not mow the lawn. And I was like, okay.
Why? What was pushing a mower?
Well, so like exertion of any kind can make the bleed worse. And so he's like, you can't, like, anything more than a walk, you are not allowed to do.
Okay.
And I was, until the blood clears. So I was like, all right. So, you know, in early August, pretty much everybody has their schedule set in terms of like yard guys at this point, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard to just like hop in.
Yeah, you're on
August.
you're on the tail end of the previous season, not the beginning of the next.
Yes, and like so people have their schedules, they're booked up. Like I had to call 3 or 4 different guys.
Yeah, I got 2 guys.
I should have asked you. I should have known. But
I got 2, and they both own their own company.
So my mom went to work, and she's got all these friends. She goes to like a senior center gym pool thing.
Oh yeah, you said that's her jam though.
Oh,
she likes
she goes
doing
like
that
every day. She's,
Yeah.
her friends.
When she walks in, everybody's like, Ross.
Yeah, and she's like the lady that knows everybody's name and like memorizes the new people and stuff
Hi,
like
Bethany.
that. Yeah, there's a lot of like.
Hi, Margaret.
There's a lot of like Patties.
Yeah, Mabel.
And I don't think there's a Mabel. There's
Yeah.
like a Pat. There's
got to be a Judy.
There is.
Guarantee there's a Judy.
I think there's a Judy.
Okay.
There's a Jackie.
Okay.
There's a.
What about Peg?
There's a Gail.
Oh, that fits.
There's a Lisa.
Oh, that's new.
I've met a lot of them because they like will come to her birthdays and stuff like that. Like they're a very supportive group.
Oh, big party group, huh?
But they actually they go out a lot. It's kind of wild.
Oh.
But so she put her pool friends to work and was like, hey, if any of you people have yard guys that you like, tell them that my son needs help and get in contact. So they hooked it up. They got it done.
Yeah.
The pool friends came through clutch.
Well, does it look nice?
Yeah, it's better. It looks better than when I do it for sure.
Well, so what were you working with? Some sort of jungle?
It got pretty aggressive by the time that
Welcome to the jungle.
It was pretty bad. I felt bad. Like I almost went to my neighbors, which I don't like go talk to my neighbors. I'll kind of wave at them from a distance.
From a distance.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my jam. Like I see you across the street, be like, "What's up?"
That's the GNR fits your voice, by the way.
Guns N' Roses. Oh yeah, the little raspy, crappy voice.
Yeah.
So I know the names of the neighbors directly next to me, but that is it.
Yeah.
So
is it a couple?
Well, on the one side it's a couple. On the other side it's just a guy. He's a retired teacher.
What is it? Mark and Alyssa, and then
one of them is named Mark.
Weird. And then the other one's what? The retired teacher's Tom?
Joe.
Yeah, figures.
So on my one side it's Mark and Mamie.
Mamie?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it.
They're very lovely people. Be nice. But I almost went, and it's a good thing you don't have that disease that I have, where you have to say the joke.
It's more about us anyway.
Okay.
Mammy. Anyway, so there's Eminem.
Yeah. So
and then there's No Ordinary Joe.
And then there's Joe, who they're all super cool and kind.
Yeah.
But I almost like knocked on their doors and be like, hey, I want to let you know I've got a guy coming. I had a medical procedure.
Oh, you were.
I was embarrassed by it. Honestly, I really was.
Okay.
Like I was very self-aware. Like this is out of control. But like I couldn't do it, and so
you should have just used like stickies.
What are stickies?
You know, little Post-its.
I did think about leaving a note. I really did.
Just like, hey, I apologize. I know my yard is whatever.
Yeah,
I would have liked to have seen it. It must have been crappy.
It was bad because it was the day that the eye thing happened. It was right at the end of Pinnacle Bank, so I hadn't been able to do anything that week either, and it probably needed done.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it happened,
it had been bothering you because you couldn't even fly to Big Ten Media Days.
Yeah, so I thought I had a little bit of a bleed right before, like a week or two before Big Ten Media Days, and it resolved itself really quickly, like within the same day. So I went into the doctor, and they're like, "Hey, no, it's fine. It looks like it resolved itself. You should be okay."
So I have a question. You don't want a Quaalude? No, you don't want a Quaalude.
Well, maybe.
You don't. Can't believe I just said that.
We'll go Wolf of Wall Street, baby.
So you don't want an anticoagulant, do you? Because you don't. Do you want? But you don't want buildup either.
No, you don't. So they don't think it's like a clotting issue. It's just like the blood vessels because of the diabetic retinopathy are just weaker, so sometimes there's
It pools?
Yeah, it's just pooled in the back of my eye. I know, it's super fun, right? You want me to talk about the eye injections?
What happened?
Because those are a lot of fun.
Hard pass.
Okay.
That's like 3rd and 16.
Yeah,
you're exactly right.
We're throwing that thing.
That was where I was at with the yard. So it was in bad shape, and it needed done by the time that the eye thing happened. And so
did they get rid of the? Because I'm guessing you had a lot of excess. Did they bag?
Yeah. So
did they bag, blow, trim?
They did the whole deal. And what made it worse is in the storm like a week ago that we had, I had some limbs come down too.
They did the tree stuff?
Yeah, they hooked me up. Like, they did a good job.
Wow.
Yeah, they
And late August.
Super appreciative. And they're going to finish out the season for me because I don't know how long this is going to last.
Oh, shout out Rose.
Yeah.
And you're a good tipper too. Do you hook them up?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, they did a good job.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative. I honestly, I was legitimately embarrassed by how it looked.
Good. That's nice.
Yeah, so that was nice to pull into the driveway and not look like
and here I am thinking my struggle was how do I get this chuck to taste like beef Asian short ribs?
Did it work?
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely do.
Got your chuck game right?
Asian.
Got your Asian game right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got a nice pantry full of Asian supplies.
How many of those supplies did you have to ask Wyatt about?
Basically all of them. But this was we're going on 3 years now. So I just progressively gotten better with, and it took me a couple years with the friendship where I could start asking him stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to get in good for a couple years. Then I had to not
be like, hey, so I'm at the Asian
I
grocery
couldn't
store.
always just ask him about food. So sometimes I think, if I called or I text, he'd be like, yes, you can use Asian regular pears instead of Asian pears. He'd just start answering. No, I don't know what Zhao wine is or whatever the wine is. I don't know. No, but
so you had to get to the point where you weren't just asking him strictly Asian food questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably fair.
Yeah. I think I maybe send him a picture like pierogies or something.
You're like, what do you think about these pierogies?
Yeah.
Right? He's like, I don't know, man.
It's not even that funny, Shane. But yeah, I have a nice
He's
little
like,
assortment.
dumplings are really more my
So I let it marinate. I let the chuck eye marinate, and I sliced it real thin because I was just at a sushi establishment a couple weeks ago, and they have Asian short ribs.
Yeah,
and it's by far their best appetizer.
Asian short ribs are good,
and that's what I like to do with beef ribs now. So I'm like, I got this nice chuck eye too. Yeah. So I did the same things: sesame oil, dark soy, little ginger paste, garlic.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I got the fried rice down pat. I mean,
I like fried rice.
Yeah.
Fried rice.
I did
Did you eat the rice?
I did yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did a Benihana.
Yeah.
I almost said Benihana. It's Hana, right?
Yeah, Benihana.
Yeah.
Now, Benny Hinn was a evangelical pastor.
Yeah, he hustled
like a
folks.
televangelist. He used to run over and he'd be healed. He'd knock him in the forehead. I thought that was the funniest thing.
I know. It's
I used to watch it during commercial breaks of Price is Right during the summer when I was a kid.
It's like, who's buying this?
Oh, apparently a lot of people.
Yeah, he's rich.
My man was running around in some private jets. Were you bigger Benny Hinn or Creflo Dollar guy?
Well, in order.
Yeah.
Because I've been to Potter's house, I'd start with TD Jakes.
Okay.
So I went TD Jakes. This was before, allegedly, any
misproprieties.
Correct.
Okay. Improprieties? Misproprieties, not a word. Improprieties.
Improprieties. I would probably go Jakes then Creflo.
I had a Benny Hinn, huh?
Yeah.
Not a big Benny Hinn guy?
I wasn't really messing with you guys much.
Whoa, what do you mean, you guys?
I mean, I didn't know anything growing up, really.
Like evangelicals, or
yeah,
is that what you meant?
I was out on Billy Graham too.
You seem like it.
Well, I mean, equal opportunity offender.
I'm just listen. He's not even one of my. He's not even. I'm not claiming Benny Hinn. That's not one of mine.
I just meant loosely.
Oh man, he's got quite the name.
Loosely.
Yeah, he's
loosely.
Different brown people.
Loosely.
Not ours.
Loosely.
1, 2, 3, not it. Nose goes. Not claiming Benny Hinn. I'm as close to claiming Creflo Dollar as I am Benny Hinn, depending on what direction you're going. The guy's not even in the same continent.
My bad.
Did the white hair throw you?
I'm so sorry.
The white hair probably threw you off a little bit.
Please accept my
You
apology.
need people like me.
Him too.
He would have to. Benny Hinn would have to do that level.
Oh Lord, you're just not gonna let this ride.
He'd have to do that level of like accent and tanning to become one of my people. He's over there closer to.
So Lance nailed it.
What did Lance get?
His question is spot on. Why I'm really good at this. It's the garlic butter.
Ooh, garlic butter is legit.
And I do my own with the butter, my Kerrygold.
Oh, I love Kerrygold.
Little MSG.
Yeah.
Crushed garlic and soy sauce. It's the whole key.
Yeah.
Just a smidge of sesame oil because it goes a long way.
Ooh, I love sesame oil too.
I got a picture. I mean, it's pretty spectacular.
Sesame oil is a little bit of a game changer if you like get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
Nah, too much. You feel like you're eating
Yeah, that's all you can taste.
crushed peanuts.
Yeah, you
in
got to be
every
careful with sesame oil.
little bite.
It's a little bit. We were talking about truffle the other day.
Yeah, that was off air.
Yeah, you got to be real careful with how much truffle you're using.
I don't really mess with it anymore.
Really.
Mm-mm.
I like truffle a lot.
So I had a little bottle, probably 8 ounces.
Mhm.
I bet it lasted 2 years.
That's about right. 8 ounces is a big bottle.
Mm,
It's a pretty good size. I mean, you're talking a couple drops.
yeah, literally.
Just like doo doo.
Literally, it's pretty strong.
Yeah.
That's in that deal.
I mean, if I'm not wrong, like it's
Hey, did you? So you didn't even? What did he say? It is a little. I agree, Kobe. I kind of agree. It is a little overrated. Truffle oil is a little overrated. It's very overpowered.
apparently Mike coached Benny Hinn's son in football.
Wait, what?
Mike, where are you from, homie? What is happening here? This could take over the show. Mike, where are you from? Can you call us right now? 888-638-4876.
He coached Benny's son, Rashad.
I don't.
Did he say Rashad?
Where did you get Rashad from?
I don't know. I can't read.
He just said, I coach Benny's son in football.
Hey, did you backpat over your depth chart?
I mean, you did more of the heavy lifting there than I did.
Well, I just would confirm or deny.
Okay. I mean, I thought we did well. I thought we did pretty well. The one that shocked me was Riley Van Poppel.
Yeah, we read way too much into that, though.
Okay. How so?
Because
I look at it just from a fan perspective. I look at it, I go, oh, Riley Van Poppel's not a starter.
look, they just threw this thing up. That's
Oh,
pretty good.
bam. Look at you.
So I asked if you guys were going to do this, and nobody said anything.
I don't control the social media, so
And lo and behold, here we go. Now I got to put my glasses back on.
I can't read.
Don't know that I can read this font without a pair of readers.
This is pretty spectacular. All right. So,
We technically got the backup quarterback wrong,
yep.
although that was one of the positions he said was pretty fluid.
I still want to know what happens at tackle.
I do too. We did get Gunner right, which I'm proud of.
You know what? You know today, gun to head?
Yeah.
I think. Well, gun to head means I have to decide, doesn't it? Today, gun to head.
Yeah.
And I know I couched this whole thing by letting Teddy be the swing guy because I want him to get acclimated, even though I thought he was capable of starting.
Yeah.
You remember that whole little spiel?
Yep.
I'm going to go Teddy at right tackle, Pritchett at left tackle.
Oh. So you're taking Gunner out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Gunner at left, Elijah at right.
That was my original thought.
Yeah, that's what my original thought was too.
That was my exact original thought.
Because what did you ask me about the depth chart? What position did I think was going to matter the least in terms of what they actually put out versus what was going to end up being? I thought it was going to be tackle because I think by the end, like at some point, I don't know if it's this week.
I remember.
I don't know if it's week 3 or 4. At some point, Gunner and Elijah are your tackles.
You think?
I do think.
Is independent of whether Teddy's healthy or not.
Correct. I don't think they want to put themselves in a position where they have to rely on Teddy.
That's one of the I like legitimately don't know.
I don't either, but that's what I think.
I just, for some reason, I don't know. I just think he's going to curveball us. I went back and listened to this press conference. I skipped over the dumb jokes and the rest of some of that stuff, but I'm having a
Rico, leave this up for a minute, please.
This might be one of those where I wish I didn't know Coach as well as I did. Because now I'm reading, even though I know him really well, like I'm still reading too much into it.
Yeah. So the only thing that I would say about Teddy, and I don't know him personally well, either Teddy or Coach. It feels like one of those guys that if he's healthy and capable, he might try and get him a win.
TP?
Yeah, like he might try, like if it's close, like if he's looking at Teddy and he's looking at Gunner and he goes, it's basically even, right? I think he would look at Teddy, much like he's looked at Thomas Fedoni, and would say,
God, that pissed me off. The Fedoni talk this weekend.
I think he would look at him and say, hey, let's get Teddy a win.
Hey, we're going to get into that film study too, fellas, if you're listening.
Yeah, we've got
Austin and Rico. I'm going to give you a couple. We're going to go through RPO and when I was having many meltdowns on stage when you guys kept calling it screen game.
Well, this is a good.
Why do we keep throwing all those quicks? They're not screens. They're built into the offense.
This is a really good transition from talking about Teddy.
The Fedoni.
Or Thomas Fedoni, right? Because one of the RPOs is an RPO to Thomas Fedoni. And I'm a layman here, but
we'll get to it. What time is it?
When I watched, you want to take a break and do it now?
Yeah, I want to finish up the too deep talk real quick.
Okay.
Shane, we'll just take like a 60-second. Let me get my bearings together. Guys, if you want to use lines and spot shadows, I don't know if I have to do that or you have to do that. And since we haven't talked about it, this will be on the fly again. But with the too deep, I'm trying to figure out why the extra stuff about making sure we understand that he's never gone into people's performance on the field. So why the false start, jumping off sides, procedure stuff? He's never done that.
You know, he said that. I mean, what do we always say? Definitely not the first time Elijah's hearing that, right?
Yeah. Was it to save his bacon about the character gossip? I know people lied about the suspension, but you got to consider the sources.
I think there's two things there. A, I think he didn't want anybody disparaging the kid's character if that wasn't an issue. B, I think he wants Elijah Pritchett to be a starter.
I'm leaning towards the latter, which is why and I thought he would start anyway, but I may flip sides. I may flip sides. We'll see. Thank you for bailing out my thought process because I'm like, am I reading too much into this? But you kind of think the same thing I am.
With Teddy?
Yeah. No, with Elijah.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a little bit in there. I'm reading in a little bit with Teddy too. Yeah. I think he wants to get Teddy a win. We'll come back though.
We'll get to RPOs and offense.
Okay.
And the Fedoni talk. This going to be one of those guys that now that he's good in the NFL, it's like we're going to have that be an indictment of Nebraska.
I don't know. With Cam Jurgens, we just decided we liked him again, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's DB. I'm Ravi. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Well, if there was any question on the talent on this number 1 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers team, I think they answered it for everybody. 2 wins at Pinnacle Bank Arena and 2 sellouts. Anna Bellinghausen, Jacob Padilla, alongside with you. Jacob, what was your biggest takeaway from the 2 wins here?
Well, this team is very good, and they have a lot of players, and we got to see a lot of them. I mean, from first match, second, the improvement up and down the board, they just completely dominated Stanford today. And that's 6th ranked team. Stanford won on Friday as well. They beat the Florida team that beat Pitt by 5 in 5 sets today. So, it's, I think, a pretty impressive first weekend. Learn more about who's playing where, but, I mean, you had different players step up from match to match, and it just speaks to the talent that Danny Busby-Kelly has on her hands and why she's been speaking so confidently about the team that she has.
We will be back. You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Don't forget, if you're out on the roads this morning, make sure you got those eyes up and those phones down. Don't get distracted. You've got one job as a driver. That is to drive. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, you want to get back into the too deep a little bit here. And about reading into things with Coach.
Yeah, I just for me, did they put this thing back up?
There we go.
God, that is teeny tiny, boy. Let's see what we got going. Yeah, I felt like it was really, really interesting just for the breakdown because he doesn't really go into
on-field performance.
Not that specific.
No, and
right, and it wasn't like encouraging, right? So.
He certainly almost never goes there in a negative way.
Right. So it has to be something, number one, that EP's heard before.
Yeah, not new information.
And I just don't think he wanted his character assassinated.
I do think that's a big part of it. I really do.
Okay.
Like, I do think that there's...
Now, you said something interesting about wanting him to be the starter, though.
I do.
How did you draw that conclusion?
So... because he kind of stepped out of his norm in terms of how he talks about guys,
yeah,
I think he's trying to elicit a specific outcome from that.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And the only outcome that makes sense to me,
that would fit his personality.
And the only outcome that would make sense to me to want to go do that is you think that guy is your best option if he's playing well and consistently. Right? So it's a pretty simple calculus in my head just to be like, hey, we don't see this normally. What is he trying to accomplish? And so I think, and it's also, and I know he spoke directly against this about the Elijah being way more talented than the rest of the guys. I do think he's the most talented offensive lineman. Doesn't have to necessarily be way more talented, but I do think he's the most talented tackle for sure. And so I think you look at it and you go, okay, I want my most talented guy to start. I've seen flashes of it where he looks really good. I just need to see that all the time. I need him to clean up the mistakes, right? I need him to clean up the false starts because that's a controllable thing.
Yeah, we would have missed on Pyle.
Yep.
Because Pyle would have been the right guard.
Yeah.
And it's now Bricks. No, it's Corcoran. Which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because I thought Corcoran would play inside.
No, Bricks is the backup right guard. Corcoran is the backup left tackle.
We would have missed on.
Oh, we would have missed on Corcoran.
Yeah.
Yes, you're sorry. Yeah. So Bricks ended up being the backup right guard. Corcoran ended up being the backup left tackle.
No, Corcoran's the backup right guard.
Not on the actual one. We had him at backup right guard.
I think. Are you? Okay, you're right.
So I think with the injury to Pyle,
it allows Turner to bum.
Yeah, it pushed him out. But we also did get from Coach Rule that Gatula could play inside also.
And he swings
from both tackles.
Yeah.
So basically you're saying he can play 4 out of the 5 spots.
Which is going to pay dividends.
Yeah, it's going to be hugely valuable. That guy's going to be on the field a ton because he can play 4 out of 5 spots. This is basically what we heard.
A little. So we tried to walk and rationalize through the whole Latif Gramstad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And his answer basically supported why we put Gramstad second. But why you also talked about Latif being long-term.
Yes, 100%.
Because then he goes, well, we can put Gramstad in the game right now with an injury and go win the game.
Yeah, he'll go win the game. But TJ offers us a part of the game that nobody else on this roster does with the mobility that he brings at quarterback.
Surprised that no R between R or at the running back spot?
No, not between 1 and 2.
Me neither.
Not between 1 and 2.
Me neither.
Honestly, not between 2 and 3 either. Like I think 1, 2, 3 are pretty clear cut.
Although I would like to see. I don't know. I'll ask Foreman maybe a little bit. At what point do we think we know about skill guys? Because I was just getting ready to say I wouldn't mind seeing a healthy, bigger Ives, but do I know enough? Because that isn't one of those guys that I openly talk about.
Yeah.
So maybe that says more about what I really think in my subconscious.
Maybe.
Right, because there's just some guys I don't bring up a ton.
Also, whenever we've heard his name brought up a few times. Holgorsen brought him up during the bowl practices. He didn't know his name.
I mean, all offseason, what about McGahee? No, I like McGahee.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
But
I think they do too. I think there's some consistency things that he needs to work on.
And there's a lot of good players over there.
So that's the thing is there's a lot of good jacks. There's a lot of good guys.
I mean, I love what
you don't want to put Jason McCullough on the field though. You don't want to put Jordan Ochoa on the field though.
And we
saw Dylan Rogers.
Yeah.
Pop off. That's a guy that's come a long way that most of us had not thought about in a long time, myself included. And then you've got this young guy who might be the most disruptive of all of them, but maybe doesn't do some of the other things that the other three do.
I was a little surprised to see Merritt listed.
You mentioned that you might see him though.
I know.
You were like, hey, I wouldn't be stunned.
Oh,
but he is the third, right? He's the third.
I'm just trying to envision, if you had to go out there and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really can't yet.
Okay.
But I do like the fact he's there.
Yeah.
Because again, I know we're parsing through it, but I'm like, and you know me because you talk to me all the time outside of this. This is a good blueprint, but we still are doing a little too much with this.
How so?
Because I think you have to understand oars. And
explain that to me, because I think a lot of times we'll still see the order and think that matters, or sometimes we'll look at it and be like, oh, it's all oars. They're all tied for first team. Yeah. How do you process when you see an oar?
I process that it's still it's week to week. It's rotational.
Okay.
The order doesn't really matter.
The order of the oars doesn't matter.
No.
So when you see Elijah Pritchett third, but they're all oars,
it means
he can start tomorrow
means
if
nothing.
he cleans his stuff up.
Yeah, it means nothing.
Okay.
Means absolutely nothing.
Because that's sort of how I have started to take it.
That's just my opinion. I mean, all staffs are different.
Yeah.
But
that's how you think they mean it.
That's how I would mean it.
Because it's hard not to look at the order. It just is.
Yeah, if Nebraska came out and let's say, they wanted to play an even front and they wanted to play with two eyes versus a 1 and a 3 technique.
Yeah.
Right. That may dictate how you use Judy or Van Poppel or Cam Lenhart. They have movable parts. So then there are packages where guys play together.
So that's the thing with Van Poppel that I looked at and I go, okay, maybe they just plan on playing Judy and Van Poppel together a lot. That's sort of my takeaway from it.
Yeah, and
because I can't really imagine a world in which.
Well, do you remember the tail end of the D line where we were talking about depth chart, and I was like, well, let's just move him here and put him here.
Because I asked,
I know.
Do you think they're going to run more 3 front or 4 front?
Which is why I moved George and Judy at the last minute.
Because I look at it and go, okay, if we're doing a 4 front, but we want people to think we're a 3 front, then having Judy and Van Poppel right next to each other on the nose guard spot and not have it be 2 different spots makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
And we just went through this weekend, right? If Northson 2-back was stationary 2-back versus a move tight end, we'd play it different, right? So, I mean, the concept for them, I'm sure, is the same 2-back run game with some sort of lead or open side, but we'd play it different.
Yeah,
with our front.
Yeah.
So that matters, right?
So what you're seeing from the other team matters as well.
Yeah.
In terms of what this looks like.
Yeah, 100%.
So this is hey, depth chart in a vacuum, not necessarily what we see on Thursday.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really liked here, and this is, again, it's funny that you brought up the oars because I processed 2 of them incredibly differently. So when I looked at the tackles, I go, Pritchett's still in it. He'll be fine.
Because you want him to be.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
When I look at Williams and Winari and Cam Lenhart, Williams Winari. I listened to his pronunciation on the website.
It's Winari.
4 times, and I keep putting the N in front of it. Williams Winari.
Yeah.
Alliteration. I'm going to remember that. I looked at it and I go, he's on his way. He's got it. He figured it out, right? And I look at him and go, oh, man, if he passed Cam Lenhart, or if he's even with Cam Lenhart, then I all of a sudden feel really good.
And I think it's safe
about what Winari's doing.
I think it's safe to say between those 2, relative to expectations.
Yeah.
You could. So I'm gonna keep the young guys out of it. So no, Pekchak, and no Hofkin.
Okay.
Because they came from way off the grid.
To put themselves in the mix.
So if it's not those two, then you could make the case that
Winari's come the farthest.
Or Cam Leonard.
Oh, both of them, really?
They had I thought Cam's offseason was spectacular.
I mean, we heard him talk about Winari.
I thought Cam's and listen, and I've only seen William a couple of times live where I just watched, and all I could think of was, man, if this dude ever figures it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because he could do some. Remember I told you the story? Jay Moore and I were watching him. And I looked at Jay, and Jay looked at me, and it was funny because, Jay played at the professional level in an odd and even front.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a long guy.
Yeah.
Tall.
Yeah, he's very tall.
And he kind of had his head tilted. He's fresh off of hip surgery. He's like, that size, those drills look like that. Those hurt me just to watch.
Mm.
But he could pull them off.
Yeah.
And they do I like
He's
their
very good at angles.
I like their individual. Because everybody does their own drills differently. Like everybody has their pet drills. I thought Nebraska's defensive line drills were spectacular.
Yeah.
And I'm watching his movement. And I looked and I'm like, that's not normal.
For a guy that size. He's 6'7".
It's his bend. Though.
Yeah, he got angles. He's very
it's his ability to bend at that length.
Mm-hmm.
And he has super long levers.
Yeah.
Right. And the only guy you have to take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
He reminds me, when you look at his frame, he reminds me of Dwayne Harris.
Mm.
Long arms, super long biceps.
Yeah.
He has these huge hands.
Yeah.
And he's just like his weight comes from his length.
Yeah.
And I remember when Debo signed in Tampa Bay, it was like, do we put his hand in the dirt as like a 4-3 end in our cover 2?
Or you let him stand up?
Or do you let him stand?
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes that's how I feel about
Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. Because there's some guys, I mean, we've seen this with Cam too.
He just doesn't look like a 280-pounder.
No, he doesn't. We've seen this with Cam, though, too, where sometimes I'm like...
And he may be 276 or something like that.
But I look at me and go, should he be... I feel like he should be standing up with Cam sometimes, but they've got him listed at DN, which would kind of indicate
that's a good question for Jay about guys at that length that are that malleable.
Like how to use them.
Yeah, he's for that kind of frame, he's a little Gumby-esque.
Yeah. It's
rare.
I like he almost, if he wasn't so stretched out, he looks a lot more like a Jack.
He looks like a hooper.
Well, he does look like a hooper. Got a power forward up here. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back with Sam McKewon here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
It was my idea. I do a lot of podcasts. People ask me, and I'm happy to do them. And as I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, why aren't we doing one? My goal was to have it kind of in the off season, kind of leading into the season. It just took a lot to get it going because obviously we want to do it right. And so it's kind of delved into this season. But this is the new world of college sports. It's like, one of my goals is to be able to do stuff with our players and hope that we can get them some NIL money from doing an interview with us. But I think, nationally, I think having a brand and having people, just even yesterday, like we put that out, and I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to watch yourself. A lot of you guys do it. I don't know how you do it. Like I was oh my gosh, this is terrible. But to be able to have it be Husker centric, but still touch other topics. Hopefully, we can just continue to put the University of Nebraska and our football program out there for people to see, and I think for recruits, there's. I think I've said this to you guys before. If you have not gone to that second floor, you have to go walk through it. You guys, they should schedule probably something to show these guys this. Like.
They're both playing so great in practice, and we thought Virginia earned a start and Allie earned a start, and it's early, so we want to learn about our team. And I've been preaching to these guys like they have to make each other better, and we're going to use everybody on this roster when we need them. And so, what a better atmosphere to play this in. I also think there's a part of me, you want to give your players these great opportunities, and so it's Pinnacle Bank Arena, sold out crowd. I wanted Allie to have that moment also, just like I wanted Virginia to have it. So it was just cool to have the opportunity to do each of them, play each of them a match and get them experience, but also just soak in Nebraska volleyball.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
I think it's important for our team. I think one of the things sometimes we do is like we try to make, we make mistake we can make is try to make everyone feel good. And I do think they have to have a sense of like, hey, here's where I am. Like, you need to know like, hey, I'm not on the travel roster or I am, so that you can fight your way back. You can know exactly where you stand. Coaches tell players exactly how they feel about them on game day. How much you play is what he thinks, right? So I wanted us to be unbelievably honest. So what 74 is the Big Ten limit. We'll probably get to like 80, especially with some injuries. And then on game day, we're going to bring down the rest of the team. Now, there's a couple guys like we've been trying to figure out, like Bly Hill, Gage Stenger. These guys are on crutches, and I know they want to come, but those guys will come down on the day of the game. Every guy on our team has worked really hard. I'd like them all to be there and have this experience. But we will take down like between 74 and 80 as part of the travel roster. This is a business trip, right? This is a big time, preseason football game. So we got to play at a high level.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by our Monday friend, Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, what's going on, bud?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. Hanging in there, man. Are you enjoying the cool down or what?
Love it.
Me
Absolutely
too.
Love it. Yeah.
I know we'd probably fight over this, but I don't need high 80s and 90s, man. I'm like I'm high as 75 all the time, and I'm cool, man. As long as you give me my 4 seasons, I don't need 90s to feel like, oh, this is fantastic. This is perfect, man. It smells like fall, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It feels like fall too. If this is the kickoff temp, it's probably like 62 right now or something. If this is the kickoff temp on Thursday, I'm not going to complain. I mean, this is great weather, and it's a true night game, which doesn't always happen in September. You know, if you have a 6 p.m. kickoff, it's an evening game. This will be a night game. I don't think we'll see the sun at kickoff inside Arrowhead. I think it'll probably be back behind the stadium. So, you know, I'm looking forward to watching the game under the lights in fall temps. It's going to be great.
Sam, so I'm gonna jump right into it with you. I saw on your most recent piece on Omaha World Herald, I saw a headline that grabbed my attention, which I'm guessing was the goal, but I saw Sam McKewon at least 8 wins. Talk to me about this.
Well, I think you can take the head coach and the athletic director at their word that this is going to be a good team, and if it's a pretty damn good team, as Matt Rule said, then they ought to win 8 games. Now, there's caveats. The caveat is Dylan's got to stay healthy. I mean, I think that's, you know, and I put it in there, the word force majeure. I mean, if something unforeseen happens, then of course the expectations change, and the player they've got to keep healthy is Dylan. I mean, that's the one, because I don't think the backup situation is, you know, necessarily 8-4, but provided he stays healthy and he's throwing the ball and he's the guy in the pocket, I think it's reasonable to expect that and embrace that. And the schedule, if they were playing Wisconsin's schedule or Florida's schedule, I may not say that, but they're not playing those schedules. So I think the numbers are there, and I understand that we've moved away from this. Well, we don't want to put a number on it, and we just want to call it, you know, we just want to play to a standard. If they play to their standard, they'll win 8 games at least.
Yeah, I think this is interesting, and believe me, I try not to overdo depth charts because I think I kind of know. I don't know, man. I know what they are. They do have value though, so I'm certainly not going to be dismissive of that. They absolutely have value. But how much of, when you look at this depth chart, whether you have to be able to envision whether Nebraska's in 11 personnel or 12 personnel or 13 personnel versus, you know, are they playing with a true nose or 2-2 eyes or a pass rushing package? How much do you have to allow yourself the freedom to extrapolate when you look at the depth chart? Because Nebraska could be so situational with how they want to play.
Yeah, I think you have to at least understand that there's probably some guys that are not listed as starters. They're going to play a lot of snaps in the game. And that's just a reality. And they might be guys that figure very prominently in the results of the game. For example, Harburg and Nelson are not listed as starters. Luke Lindenmeyer is a starter, but it's not going to surprise me if Harburg or Nelson catches a 25-yard touchdown pass. You know, and we're talking to those guys after the game. The goal of I think any player is that, you know, after the game, you feel like you really contributed to the result, a positive result. And that can be in a lot of different ways, but it's a team that's going to play some guys. Mm-hmm. And they've got some young guys that, again, may play X number of snaps Thursday and might play X plus 15 number of snaps by Michigan. You know, like it's an ongoing conversation at a lot of positions. Now, there are some positions where I think Justin Evans will probably take every meaningful snap at center this season, barring injury. You know, that's a position that I highly value in college. I highly value the center position in college because it's not quite like the NFL because a lot of people have been saying to me, you know, what are they going to do at left tackle? And I'm like, well, I think they're going to be okay there, but I'll be honest with you, left tackle isn't as important to me as in college as it would be in the NFL.
We had a similar discussion last week, Friday.
Yeah. Center is important. It's very important because these are young guys who need to be led. and need to be brought together on the sidelines. You know, it's not a 33-year-old left tackle out there. Not that there are a lot of those in the NFL, but, you know, it's not a 29-year-old all-pro out there at the left tackle. It's a guy that's probably 21. And so your center needs to be a leader. So, you know, I think Justin Evans, if you're going to ask me who's the most important guy, well, Henry Lutovsky's the captain, but Justin Evans, those two guys are probably the two most important linemen in my view. So there's certain things that I think you have to learn and come to expect. And I think they need one of those linebackers, whether it's Watson Trent or Wright or Shavers, and I'm talking the off-the-ball linebackers. They need one of those guys to be really good. You know, so John Bullock, I thought the last 2 years was pretty darn good. And, you know, obviously Reimer a couple years ago had his moments too. But, you know, when they needed a play last season, John Bullock made one. You know, he made a pick six at Purdue, and he, you know, dropped into that zone and helped create Tommy Hill's interception. And he dislodged the ball in the bowl game. And they need a guy that can go do that. And it may well be Javen Wright who does it. But I'm just saying one of the three has to. One of the three has to be the guy that's making that kind of play every game. And I am intrigued to see who that's going to be, because I think Wright is probably the guy that is best positioned, but he just hasn't, you know, this is his first full true like season of playing and practicing and doing everything. So I think he's going to take the opportunity, you know, but it is an opportunity for him. He hasn't been a starter for 4 years. So it'll be intriguing to see how that group responds on Thursday.
Sam, how do you kind of weigh best positioned versus physically most capable? Because that's sort of how I look at like Javen Wright versus a Vincent Shavers. Not that Javen's not physically capable, but I look at Vincent Shavers as sort of a different level of disruptive athlete. So I would look at him and to what you're talking about, filling that John Bullock role. Like physically, I would look at Vincent Shavers and be like, oh, he's the most capable of creating disruptive plays like that. But then you've got the Javen Wright experience part of it where you go, hey, he's got the physical tools, but also has been around this a little bit more longer. He maybe is more likely to drop into coverage and create a pick six for somebody else that the way John Bullock did last year. So, like, how do you kind of weigh those differences?
Well, I mean, I think if you're going forward, moving forward physically, I think Vincent Shavers is a pretty good player. You know, he's going to meet you at the line of scrimmage, and he'll get there with a bad intention. I think as a pass cover guy, there's certain limitations he has because of his height. What is he listed at? I think he's listed at 5'11". And so there was a play during the open practice where he actually covered the guy pretty well. The reality is he just couldn't swipe the ball away because he was 5'11". And
Shavers is
Harburg
listed at 6'1", just for what it's worth.
Okay, that's fine. Well, he may
that's what the
be.
roster says.
I'm not. You know, Levante David is listed at 6'1" in the NFL. It doesn't matter what their height is; it's how they play. And so, the reality is, I think there's things that Javen can bring to the table. They all know what it is, and he actually is a little bit like Deshaun McCullough was last year for Oklahoma. Javen Wright, like he can take some plays away, and you won't know that he did it, because what he does is he deters.
He's 6'5", by the way, for the comparison.
Yeah, and I think he really is. He's a deterrence effect. And so, like, you know, he's the guy that's standing there and you can't make the play you like because he's there. And so I think that's something to watch, too. You know, we'll see. It's got to kind of see what Cincinnati wants to do and how they want to play and what they hope to accomplish. Now, they've got a couple of receivers that they really like, one of whom played at Lindenwood last year, that are larger guys. They're going to throw it downfield. Those, you know, they might throw it to them on a slant, but they got some guys they want to throw the ball over the top to. And so there may be some plays where the linebackers don't factor, and the corner play is really important. And we'll just have to see what Cincinnati tries to do.
Yeah, so there's a couple things here, Sam. I think one of the things people always talk about year 3 and Coach Rule, and we've heard it all off season, right? And while I don't know if his temperament has changed, I do think he's more mature in understanding what this team needs, right? That's just the natural progression of year 3 of being around some of these guys, right? I like the fact that I get the impression that the confidence with him is key because for this team, I don't know if he's as much worried about the physical as much as they haven't been here before, right? They're actually playing with expectations. There's actually real tangible goals that I think that they talk about. There's this belief factor internally that they think that they can accomplish. That has to start and be modeled at the top. For me, I think that's the most fascinating thing about the evolution of where Coach Rule is this year in the offseason and leading up to this season than he has been before in the past. It's not so much for us to glean the information, but I think he's modeling it for his guys because they're going to be in uncharted waters with expectations, in my opinion.
Yeah, this season has those attached in part because for perfectly understandable reasons. I mean, when you have a second-year quarterback, you know, there's some expectations attached to it. And I'm sure Dylan has those too. So, like, I think some of it is they're all kind of looking at, okay, you know, we like our head coach. And I think they do. I think that the majority of the team quite likes him. And they're looking at the quarterback and going, we got a dude at quarterback. And when you have those two things, you know, you kind of expect to be good. And I know that's like irrespective of every other position on the field, but the reality is that's kind of the thought process. And so I think, yeah, they'll be playing with that. I think some units are probably ready to play with that. Some units might not be, and we'll learn a little bit about them. And some units probably don't even think that much about it. I don't know that I've ever gotten inside the head of a receiver and like thought through. I think receivers like to play and they like to make plays and they like to do things and that are irrespective of, you know, I'm not trying to say they don't care about the team winning, but you know, a receiver, if you tell a receiver, hey, you guys might lose the game today, but you're going to catch 200 yards worth of passes, the receiver's not going to go, no. And so, like, you know, the receiver's out there to make the plays that you're paying him or put him on scholarship to make. And so I think they actually have guys that can do that. I think that, you know, they had guys that really wanted to do that last year. I think they have guys who can do it better this year. And so that's part of what you're getting at receiver. You're getting playmakers, and I think they have them. So I do think they have to handle expectations. The one area where that's interesting, and sometimes there can be a lot of thought process that goes into a handful of plays, is on special teams. And so, you know, the punters and the kickers, people don't think about it the way that, you know, but those guys trot out there, you know, only a handful of times per game, but they got to be good when they do. Like, it's not, you can't miss an assignment. You know, if you miss a field goal in a game, it might be the only field goal you attempt. So there is a lot of pressure around that. And I think teaching that mindset, which Rule is good at, which I think Eckler is good at, will be helpful. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch this team on Thursday. But then more interesting as the Big Ten season gets going, you know, like how they handle each week and how they talk about the opponents coming up. And Thursday is one of those games you kind of got to get through. There's just no what, you know, like they want to win it. They should win it, in my opinion. But it's like one of those games where you're like, you know that it's not going to go perfectly. You know there's going to be some things that probably go awry. And you just hope that they don't burn you to the point where you lose. And unfortunately, Nebraska's lost some of these games in recent years, these season openers against power conference teams. In some of those games, they weren't very good. In some of those games, they were pretty good, but they just made the crucial mistake, and they've got to try to find a way to not make that.
I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Good.
Sam, when we're talking about like situational and packages, this could be one of the more interesting teams this year because I do think they'll have a lot of options. He talked about one of the things that caught my ear in the presser was being an explosive movement front, where to me it screams that they like their athleticism. It implies a little bit of I almost said aggressiveness, but it's not, right? I know they want to stop the run with toughness anyway. But I do get the sense that guys will be on the move. Playing to their strengths, do you think, or just what do you think the methodology is behind wanting to be an explosive movement front? Because I like it personally, but I come from a 3-front background, so of course I like it.
I would say that not only would it be playing to their expectations or playing to what their preference is, but just their plan. That's what Rule wants. I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like Rule was at one time a 4-down lineman guy way back, but that's changed. And so now he kind of likes those multiple fronts. And sometimes they are basically a 4-down line, and sometimes they're not. And so, yeah, I think this is what he wants. I think he wants a group that's, going to create havoc. I think he's a big believer that if you can get one negative play in a series of downs, it's
hard to overcome. Yeah.
Right. That's, the chances for a punt or a turnover go way up, and that's true. And so I think he wants to create those plays, negative plays. And so I think that's the way he's designed the defense. I understand that John Butler is the coordinator and that Phil Snow is there, but, Matt Rule is, could go and be one of the nation's best defensive coordinators tomorrow, if that's what he really wanted to do. So, he understands all that, and I think that's what they want to be, and they've recruited that way. They haven't gone out and necessarily recruited guys that are going to be 340 pounds and 6'1", the way that, Cincinnati's got a nose tackle that's 6'1" and 335, or, when Nebraska had Damian Daniels, I mean, he was 6'1.5", 6'2", 3, whatever, 30. Darian Daniels was also, big guy, same way. So, they had a little bit different defense. And so I think Rule wants a quicker group. Nash Hutmaker was a very good player at Nebraska, but he was more of that bigger bodied, refrigerator-sized person who took up a lot of space. I think this is going to be a group that's a little quicker and moves a little bit more and creates a little bit more traffic in the middle of the field and tries to get penetration and things like that. So we'll see how that goes. I think, again, I'm curious to see how Cincinnati chooses to attack Nebraska's defense. I'm sure they have a plan in their mind, but I'm really intrigued to see how they go at it. I would think Cincinnati intends to try to, shorten the game.
He obviously wants to possess the ball just because of his history. I just think I think the matchup within the matchup is 4 new faces along Cincinnati's offensive line versus how quickly Nebraska's units can employ the game plan, where if it's predicated on controlled chaos and movement, communication is always important among an offensive line, but it is paramount in an opener, and it's even more accentuated if you haven't played together a while. I think that's where, if I just had to boil this thing down, I think that's the game within the game. It's Nebraska's front versus Cincinnati's offensive line. It'll be about other things, but if I had to pick something that I think ultimately determines the outcome, it's that. 4 new faces up front for Cincinnati in real game situation is not going to be ideal.
I appreciate that perspective. I would say that I think you're probably right that if Cincinnati's able to have success offensively, then that greatly increases their chances of winning the game. I don't see Cincinnati winning, 10-7. I don't know. I think Nebraska will score some points. I do. So what it's going to take to me is more of a Nebraska was more efficient and might have even had more yards, but Cincinnati made the most of their possessions kind of game and shortened the game. So again, I think Nebraska's going to win, but you just have to play the game, and you have to settle in. And the other thing that Nebraska's got to play to is we're going to be the better team in the fourth quarter, which I think they're going to be.
I think that's huge.
You got to be confident about that, and you can't try to make plays early in games like, oh my God, it's 3-0. We're down 3-0. I got to make a play. No, if it's not there, you don't. You don't. So much of football is about the cumulative effect that then kicks in the third hour of the game. And, not that I think we saw some of that with the Iowa State-Kansas State game, where at the end of the game, Kansas State had better numbers, but they couldn't stop Iowa State at the end of the game.
Yeah, I thought underappreciated aspect in that game was Iowa State's creativity in the ground game as the game went on. Kansas State was dominating early with pressure packages and looks, and Iowa State kind of settled in late rhythmically in the run game. I thought it was a fascinating cat and mouse matchup.
It was. I'm sure there's a lot that Kansas State would like to revisit from that game, and Iowa State was the better team on that day, and for reasons that are why Iowa State's good. They don't make a ton of mistakes. They get timely quarterback play. I think Kansas State has a more talented quarterback, but it didn't matter because they misused him for a good chunk of the day. So,
would you want to see him do more run?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But does he like running? On that fourth down, he kind of turned his back from the play. And I didn't love that. Now, I thought he got the first down, Avery Johnson, on that fourth and whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Jace Brown ripped off the chunky one, but it didn't seem like K-State rushed for a $110 out of their handoff run game.
No, they didn't. And I don't know. They're their own team, and Nebraska's probably not going to play them unless they play them in the the Phoenix Bowl, whatever it's called now, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. So these two teams are not going to cross paths, but I'll be intrigued, for example, when Scott Frost goes up there in 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it is, whether Kansas State has figured some of those issues out. Because I'll say this much, Scott Frost teams are going to score. He's going to go back to being who he was down there. They're going to try to outscore everybody. So, I'll be intrigued to see if Kansas State has figured out its issues by the time that he comes up to Manhattan.
Sam, we'll get you out of here on this. We talk about winning games in the fourth quarter, and obviously my mind goes to depth when you talk about that. Kind of leads me back to talking about the depth chart earlier in this conversation. As you look back over the last, call it 5 or 10 years, as we've sort of tried to figure out depth charts going into the season, do you think this particular team has more, less, or about the same number of positions that you feel like backups could be starters on?
Good question. I think that there's probably quite a few of those on. Again, could Cortez Mills start in lieu of Isaiah Hunter? Yeah. Or could Janiron Bonner actually start the game against Cincinnati? So technically he's the starter and Ja'Cory Barney's not. Yeah. Yes. But if you're just talking like sheer depth, I think the defense will eventually have that by the end of the year. I think they feel pretty good about 5 or 6 receivers. I think that they could roll a couple of different tight ends out there. But defensively is where I think you're going to see the most growth, both in the secondary. I think the linebackers are going to remain pretty static if those guys stay healthy. We'll see. And then on the defensive line, I think you're going to see some guys emerge as the season goes on. And, there's going to be a play against Michigan State. And again, it's who we talk to after the game. So let's say they beat Michigan State by 10 and there's a guy that has 2.5 sacks. Well, it may not be one of those starters. It may be Jordan Ochoa, and we're talking about him. The defense has, I think, a little bit of multiplicity and depth that is only going to get better and better and better. The way that they've built this team.
Completely agree.
the end of year 3 is going to be better than the beginning of year 3, and year 4 is going to be better than year 3, and year 5 is going to be better than year 4.
I made the case last week, Sam, with this defense, they'll literally get better by the snap, let alone the game and the course of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the third drive could look vastly different than the first drive for them defensively.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if statistically they're going to be better than they were last year. I don't know that I necessarily see that, but that isn't necessarily what matters. Like, what you want is a defense that shows up in the biggest moments. And last year that didn't always happen. And then the year before it actually did, but the offense was so hamstrung by decision making that predated the season and whatever, that the defense, which was incredible, didn't get the credit it deserved. Like, the defense in 2023 was amazing. And it just didn't get the credit it deserved because it was constantly having to hold up that offense. So in 2024, I thought there were some moments where the defense didn't stand up as well as it could. I'm sure they hope to correct that this season. I'm sure that every guy on that team would love to play Illinois again and test out how different of a team they can be. But they're not going to play Illinois this year. So the games that will test them will be different teams and different situations.
That's Sam McKewon, Omaha World Herald. Sam, appreciate the time as always. Are we landed on 8? You want to push it to 9?
I'm saying they're going to win at least 8 if you believe in progress. I mean, yeah, I actually would push it to 9, because to get to 8 or to keep it at 8 meant that we had to say they were going to lose to Michigan and USC at home. And I'll say 8, and I'll go to 9 after I get to watch Michigan and USC the first
I'm
couple
almost
of
the
weeks.
exact same. That's
no.
Although it's not those 2 games, but almost verbatim, I could easily see 9, but it's not Michigan and USC for me. It's Michigan and Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota's going to play this week. They're going to win, but it's going to be, 20-13. It's not going to be a blowout over Buffalo, I don't think. If it is a blowout, then maybe Minnesota's better than we think,
I know one thing. If Nebraska gets over the Minnesota boogeyman in this last 5 years, you're just not going to be able to control this staff, because if Nebraska's players can pick up on the coach's temperament and competitiveness about bring it on and deal with adversity, fudge. It could roll with a lot of momentum in a hurry. I don't worry about them physically. It's if they get over the emotional hump, this team becomes officially dangerous.
Yes, and they have the schedule to become that if they do get over that hump.
I mean, they start vibing with Coach Rule's personality.
Mm-hmm.
They're in business.
Agreed.
Because that dude is fearless.
Yeah.
And he's a realist, right? I mean, he get a couple of teeth knocked out, but you're going to have to get them all.
Right.
This is how he is.
Right. Yeah.
Sam, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Take care.
That's Sam McKewon.
They get to that point.
Herald.
They get to that point.
Yeah.
They'll be in business. Like, he's telling you without telling you. He's like, some of these games don't have to be close.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay if you're emotionally mature enough to stay on the gas, stop checking the rearview mirror, and just drive that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't always have to look over your shoulder and see who's coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if you handle it emotionally to stay in drive. If they figure that part out, I mean, we have these questions as fans and in media of, well, I don't know, can they? Players have to get to the point where they think we will.
Mm-hmm.
We will. Hey, 4 new faces up front for Cincinnati.
You should dominate.
They got to deal with us.
You should eat them.
And I'm not saying 4 new faces means bad. I'm saying
haven't played together.
Like, this is our unit.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we do. We're really good with these packages. This is what we're comfortable with. We have to make that a strength. It doesn't have to be, well, a lot of us haven't. I mean, we're kind of inexperienced, and we're wondering about it. Like, that's not how players think. It's not how they should
Not
think.
how they should think. Some do.
Right? So.
And I would argue over the past several years in Nebraska, a lot of have.
I say this all the time. Misery's optional, and so is fear.
Yeah.
Do with it what you will.
I'm just saying. They start taking on Coach Rule's personality. Look at that. How many fingers are up right there? That's 10.
10.
10.
Not 10.
10?
10.
10?
10.
Coming up next, let's do a little film study with old DB.
Awesome.
Get our RPO game right. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Well, if there was any question on the talent on this number 1 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers team, I think they answered it for everybody. 2 wins at Pinnacle Bank Arena and 2 sellouts, Anna Bellinghausen, Jacob Padilla. Alongside with you, Jacob, what was your biggest takeaway from the 2 wins here?
Well, this team is very good, and they have a lot of players, and we got to see a lot of them. I mean, from first match, second, the improvement up and down the board. They just completely dominated Stanford today. And that's 6th ranked team. Stanford won on Friday as well. They beat the Florida team that beat Pitt by 5 in 5 sets today. So, it's, I think, a pretty impressive first weekend. Learn more about who's playing where, but, I mean, you had different players step up from match to match, and it just speaks to the talent that Danny Busby Kelly has on her hands and why she's been speaking so confidently about the team that she has.
My conversation with the team afterwards was just how proud I was of them. I mean, what a cool moment to show what our team is made of and who we are on such a big stage. I had to pull my phone out to figure out what the date was today and just remind them, like, it's August 23rd, and to be playing like this well and this fun and this free at this moment against the returning national champ, number 2 team in the country. Like, what I told them was, if that's the number 2 team in the country, like, how good are we? And that's my big thing to them. It's just like them taking away from this that we're a really good volleyball team. I love the joy that they played with all day. I told them that if 15,000 people in here and all the people that watched on TV, I hope their takeaways were like, man, I want to root for this team because they just play so fun and so loose, and I just loved being on the sideline with them today, and excited to go to battle with them all year.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
So you mentioned that you've had a couple different littles and you were with the one for 5 years.
Yeah.
I've always been curious, right? Like, what happens when that official relationship is over? Do you guys like stay friends? Like, how?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
yeah.
sure it's a case by case basis.
It is,
but like, how does that
absolutely.
work?
It
Is
is
that encouraged, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. It is encouraged. Once a match closes, then obviously you're not enrolled in the program anymore, and our match support specialist
Is that just when they turn 18? Is that how that works? when
Yeah,
it closes?
or sometimes there might be other, instances. Maybe the family has to move,
Oh, okay, sure.
or the big has to move, and so that's another thing that's so important. Those transitional periods. That's why we have the match support team that can kind of guide through that to make sure that both parties feel good about, the match coming to an end. But honestly, most of the time it is not even an end. It's just kind of like, oh, we are, maybe in a situation where Little is going to college, Little's family is moving, or maybe the big and the big's family is moving. So we can all come together and kind of talk about that, discuss that, and look at ways to stay in communication going forward. So
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you if you've got anything you need for auto body repair, Dingman's is the place to go. Go check them out, dingmans.com, and you'll find a business that's locally and family-owned and operated with deep roots in the community right here in Omaha. They live here, raise their families here, and work here just like you. And they've been voted Best of Omaha, first place for auto body repair for 20 straight years. It's a name and a family you can trust. Go to dingmans.com for more information. DB, let's get a little film breakdown today.
Sure. You want to do a little film breakdown?
Hey, you think we should do some film breakdown?
I don't know. We can do whatever you want to do there, superstar.
Let's bring up the Fedoni play first there, fellas.
Fedoni, the guy that's been a lot of the old scuttlebutt here.
A lot of scuttlebutt about Fedoni. Some ramblings on the internet about how so underutilized or misutilized at Nebraska. Glad he finally got a chance to, bet on himself and go to the NFL. And
even though 90% of the fan base thought
if they throw, I think I literally tweeted out at some point.
You said this to me and I snapped.
Yeah, you did. You got mad at me. I go, I think I've seen enough of the Fedoni. The Fedoni little flip outs.
And I snapped.
Yeah, you got mad at me.
But I'm an unabashed, unapologetic Thomas Fedoni fan.
And listen, as I watched through this, I felt a lot of Robin Williams in my soul. Thomas, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Okay.
Yeah, this is fun.
I had a lot of goodwill hunting.
So I'm kind of seeing this for not the first time, but I'm gonna break this down on the fly for the first.
So this is an RPO with Dylan and against UCLA here. Obviously, you can see that. Let's go ahead and run it through first.
Hang on. Let me show you something.
Okay.
Here. So you want to use terminology. So top of the screen, bottom of the numbers is what we'd call a boundary corner. Okay. Boundary corners. Again, that's a number one wide receiver. You just count from the sidelines over.
Okay.
Right. So Nebraska's in 11 personnel, one back, one tight end.
Okay.
He is technically not what I would call an inline tight end
because he's offset a little
because
bit.
he's displaced.
Okay.
He's off ball. So secondary, they're talking to one another. They're saying to themselves, is he a vertical threat? If he's an immediate vertical threat, you'd probably count this as a 3-by.
Okay.
If he's not an immediate vertical threat, you may treat him differently.
3-by refers to the number of receivers on that side of the field?
Correct.
Okay.
So you've got a number 2 receiver that's at the bottom on the hash. You've got a number 1 that's just below the 1890. Okay, we clear there? UCLA showing you a too high look. This is a 4-3 look.
Okay.
Okay. You got a hanger who is the defender on the bottom of the screen in between the hashes.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes.
On the 4-3 look, does it matter that two of the guys are standing up?
It does not.
Just on the line?
It does not.
Okay. So when you're talking about the hanger, that's the guy right above the hash?
That is the guy that is on the right shoulder of Fedoni, about 2 yards wide. I think he's wearing 7 or 3.
Yep.
Okay. He's what we call a hang defender. Now,
he's sort of between Fedoni and Nair.
Yeah, he's got to fit in the run game.
He's the guy that you're reading to make a choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's what a lot of times when coaches break the huddle, they say, hey, read the number 2 defender. Mm-hmm. He would be the number 2 defender.
Who's the number 1 defender there? Is that the end?
No, they would be the corner.
Okay.
So you count from the sideline.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So I coach these guys, the adjusters, and it's almost what everybody tries to read. Number 1, they break the huddle, they count number of safeties. Is it 1 or 2 high? And then they try to find your adjusters. Okay. So that's why I teach. We just never sit still, and we do a lot of different things because I know they're trying to read us. Right. One of my guys is a bandit. The other's an anchor or a joker. Like I put these guys on the move.
Okay.
So this is an RPO. So let's run it until we see the play fake, please, AJ. All right. Now, number 1, I think if this is true RPO, I think Dylan has to hold this just a smidge longer.
Okay, so he's got to keep it in there a little bit longer.
I think he's got to ride this fake, but he gets an in man on the line of scrimmage. Nebraska's not blocking they're not blocking a Jobo.
Number 2 is a free runner.
They're reading him.
Okay.
Once he closes down on the ball,
real quick, they're letting him free run on purpose because that's the read.
Yep, he is the read.
Okay. So that's not a miss. That's the play.
They are reading in man on the line of scrimmage. Right tackle is showing you run, and you're getting a run read if you're UCLA. You are getting a run read. Okay. All low hats getting a run read. You see run action. They're squeezing. So he squeezes. Dylan comes out of it a little early. He's not horrible, but it's early. Roll tape.
You'd like him to sit on it another half second to.
Yep.
Okay.
Because what it does is, rewind please, AJ. It helps you with the hang defender to buy time. Because watch how quickly the hanging defender reads this thing and how difficult it makes it on the number 2 receiver. Watch the hang defender go limp shoulder.
So that's the guy that Nair at the bottom of the screen is trying to block.
Correct. Now, what would help is he sees it right away. Nair takes a bad angle.
Pause there.
Right.
So that's where you see the shoulder dip.
Okay, so pause it, AJ. So the hanger gives the limp shoulder. He knows he's got help. He's a box defender.
He's got help to the inside.
I mean, he's a box defender, too. He wants to keep everything inside of him.
He's trying to get box Fedoni back to the inside of the field.
Correct. Okay. So Nair needs to take a little flatter angle. The ball right now is out on time. What Fedoni's got to be thinking is, I'm counting on my number 2 to win.
So Nair to win that block.
To win.
So he's getting to the outside.
They're coming inside out. Correct.
Yeah. So because the guy so leave it there for a second, AJ. So the guy that Fedoni's trying to beat to the outside is the free runner that's just inside of Nair, right?
Correct.
If he can beat him to the corner, he thinks he's got a good play.
100%. Because it becomes a foot race between your inside linebacker
and he's got a better angle to the sideline than the inside linebacker.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, they don't win on the outside. Roll tape. Pause. They got whipped on both. Both the number 1s and the number 2s got whipped.
Yeah, Lloyd and Nair both got beat on their block.
Now, you can see conceptually, if both perimeter blocks happen,
that's a good play.
It's a huge play.
Because he splits. Basically, tell me if I'm wrong here. Ideally, Fedoni would like to cut it up basically between the receivers.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
You want
Nair to occupy.
Yeah.
And you want Lloyd to seal. And it's a foot race between an inside linebacker and your tight end. Fedoni's proven he's a pretty good athlete. Well, he's better than pretty good.
He's out of the combine, really good athlete.
When he's getting open in the NFL. right? So back this all the way up, AJ, all the way to the beginning. Why do we call this RPO? RPO is short for run pass option. Now, the run option is the pass option is always built in. You're reading the end man on the line of scrimmage.
So let's say, because this obviously ends up being a pass. Let's say if the end man, number 2, follows Fedoni out, then you hand.
If he widens or hesitates
At all.
Yes.
Then you hand.
It is a give.
Okay.
But he squeezes
immediately.
Let it roll here, AJ. Squeeze. Right now, that ball's coming out. If I had I'd highlight the inside linebacker that's on the hash. I'd highlight Nair, the hanger.
There's a long way for that inside linebacker to run.
Yeah, he shouldn't make that play.
Right.
Okay. Nair's got to win. Lloyd's got to win. You let the hash safety come down into the box. You're thinking you've got a good play. It's not a screen. They're not flipping it out there to him because they don't think he's a good player.
It's an option route.
When you're an offensive coordinator, they never draw the plays up where it ends.
Yeah, they're all supposed to score.
They like you have him and you have him. That's why we always laugh at OCs, right? Because it's always typically best case scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't win on the perimeter. Let it roll, AJ. And all of a sudden, we're mad at Fedoni, and the crowd's booing, and it's not his fault, right? You understand what I'm telling you? Like, the concept of the play is really, really sound.
Yes.
It's a very.
I mean, you can see that, right? So you've got the end who collapses immediately.
Yep. So you
don't
know
want to hand the ball off because that's a 2-yard loss.
Correct.
Right. So Dylan makes the right decision.
Correct.
It's the right play call for the front.
Correct.
And you get the ball out on time, and really all you have to do is have your receivers correctly make the blocks.
Yeah.
And you've got probably a first down. Fair?
Correct.
I mean, I think I don't see what the down and distance is on this one, but like that's a 10.
It's first and 10. You got to be thinking 6-7 yard gain on first down minimum.
Which you feel pretty good about if either of those guys are like if both guys lay in the blocks, he maybe hits his head on the goal post, right? Maybe.
Probably not. You got a safety coming down into the box.
But you're talking about a big play if both guys land.
Yeah, I see the safety at the top left corner or at the bottom left corner.
Yep. Okay, so he's coming over. So
yeah, he's coming down into the box.
But you're probably talking 10, 15-yard play if both guys land their blocks.
Or at minimum 6-7, 2nd and 3.
If one of those guys just lands the blocks, you at least have a chance.
Yeah. So
right.
If you got to think if the hanger is a displaced defender, you got to think he's probably boxing this. He's not going to spill it. Probably because that's a long way for that safety to run. But I don't know their concepts.
Right.
So technically between if you look at the corner at the bottom of the screen, the hanger defender and the safety that's on the hash, you see how they kind of form that triangle?
Yeah.
Between the three, they've decided that this safety is either going to be an alley runner where he fits between the corner and the displaced defender, or a crease guy where the hanger sets the edge and the safety fits inside. What we would tell this safety, make the hanger defender right, hanger defender declare early.
Okay.
So there's
Make him make his choice early.
Yep. You fight pressure with pressure. So if you're getting leverage out here on your outside shoulder, fight that way.
So would Nair, like what did Nair do wrong here?
First of all, roll it about a full second here, AJ. A little more. He's too flat right now. He's got to understand leverage. If I'm Nair, I always say leverage the ball, not the block.
Okay.
So if I'm Nair, do I think the ball is going to come inside of me or outside of me?
So where you think that
where do you think Nair
going to run?
Yeah.
So you want him to be wider than he is so that he can come attack the angle of the hanger.
Correct.
Okay.
Leverage the ball. If the ball's going to get outside of me, I need to be in a place where I can't get beat to the outside.
You can keep the defender from getting outside of you.
Correct.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yes.
All right. So let it roll, AJ. Whiff on the outside. Wow, barely a fingertip. That's a stone cold whiff.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got inside, outside pressure. You got a safety smoking down the hash. Corner wins 2. He's the force. Bad play. AJ, fast forward to USC.
Yeah, let's go to the Bonner one.
With Bonner. Let me show you the offensive evolution. So what personnel is at the bottom of the screen? to the boundary is who?
Is that Nair?
Newsflash, he's going to end up getting the ball.
Oh, Bonner.
It's Bonner. Okay. So they break the huddle. When they enter the huddle, what personnel grouping do you think that is?
So when they enter the huddle, I probably think with Bonner, they're
11.
11. Yeah, I'm imagining Bonner's going to line up closer to the inside.
They're showing you 10 though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So one back, no tight ends.
Yep.
Now what's Coach Holgorsen thinking? He's thinking, all right, I didn't put Fedoni on the move, but we still were in a 3-by.
Yep.
It was Fedoni, it was Nair, and it was Lloyd.
Yep.
Still in a 3-by. This is a different way to get to a 3-by. So what's he do? Roll clip here, AJ, for 2 full seconds. One more. Pause. In theory, this is a 3-by.
Yes, because now you've got Bonner moving in motion to the top of the screen with the other 2 receivers.
They just did it with motion.
Right.
Now, the concept is still the same.
So now we've got our RPO going to the left with Bonner and Emmett.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, look at Dylan's eyes. He is reading
that end again. Stand-up defensive end.
He's reading the end.
Who does the exact same thing that number 2 for UCLA did, where it collapses immediately.
He pauses. He's reading. Now, let it go for a full second here, AJ. Pause. So right now, what you want to do is,
again, ball's out on time.
It's out on time. These guys on the perimeter look as though they have really good leverage. Now, what you have to worry about is the inside linebacker. So Nebraska made the adjustment against UCLA. Yes.
Okay.
Against UCLA, he was a free runner, right?
Yes.
So Justin Evans is uncovered. So he can get to second level.
You already see him trying to get to second level to pick 4 off.
So Holgorsen's saying, hey, we're going to hold that inside linebacker with run action. Buy my center some time to get to second level, win on the perimeter, and you're cooking with peanut oil.
So let me ask you a question here before we get to this, okay?
Yeah.
So if you're doing this, does this give you the opportunity to cut it up sooner if you're Bonner, or is that not the goal of picking off the inside linebacker?
It's not necessarily the in-game objective, but you're working to the field.
Yeah, so you've got to have more.
So you have more room,
more gaps
to negotiate.
Okay.
You're trying to understand as a ball carrier where my blockers are. USC right now, this is he's playing a bail technique.
So Bonner should know that he's got Justin Evans trying to get inside linebacker at level 2. And
if he's smart.
2 receivers.
I'm not always saying ball carriers know what the O-line is doing, but the more you do,
the better chance you're
going to have to have
success. And then he knows that his 2 – so is this, again, same situation where he probably is trying to split the wide receivers in terms of his running lane?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to come back inside.
Okay, so you want to get outside that slot receiver.
Correct.
Okay.
You don't want to go to where people are.
Okay.
So USC is playing this. They got a little the bail technique where corners turning and opening. How did UCLA play this same coverage? They were squatting, right?
Yeah,
that corner was forcing right away. So they were in some sort of 2 shell maybe or something like that. Well, SC's bailing.
Yeah.
So you like your chances even better. He didn't like the run read.
Because you just got a less aggressive corner on okay.
Right. Okay. So he gets it out. He gets it out to Bonner. Go ahead, let it roll, AJ. Let it roll, let it roll, let it roll, let it roll. Stop. Back it up a hair.
So you've got Banks winning on the outside.
Okay. Banks is in good shape.
Yeah, he's winning.
Your number 2 receiver is in really good shape.
Because even though the USC defender's getting upfield, he's got the leverage correct to push him inside.
Because if I'm Bonner, I want to get out around that anyway.
So as long as you beat him to that spot, you won.
Yeah. Now, number 4 for SC as an inside backer has beat Justin Evans-Jenkins, but that is a very difficult block.
It's a long run.
You'd like the run action to hold that in, to hold number 4 just a little while longer.
That's where you were talking about on the last play where Dylan maybe could hold it an extra half second to keep the
showing run
linebackers a little bit.
Showing run action as long as you can
buys you more time.
Yeah. Well, look no further than Luke Altmaier.
Yeah. They hold that thing forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Right?
It almost is like it almost, not quite, but it's almost like the Wake Forest delayed mesh where they're just like waiting. That's the extreme version.
And defensively, it's annoying because well-coached defenses get runner pass reads.
Yeah.
If it looks like a run and you end up throwing the ball, those linemen are 4 or 5 yards down. They're already into you, right?
But guess what? Look at where Jenner and Bonner catch the ball.
Behind the line
of scrimmage. So Justin Evans can be 5 yards down the line, and it doesn't matter.
It's what makes RPO so tough. So they went on the perimeter here. Let it roll real quick, AJ. Now, in an ideal world, back it up just a smidge after he makes the first defender miss. Right? Fedoni wins on the perimeter right now. Okay, see, Fedoni wins on the perimeter. So Coach Holgorsen's answer, this is the game within the game. This is beautiful. He broke the huddle with Fedoni and Bonner both in the game.
Yeah.
Not a nary of those guys played a real inline tight end. They didn't. They were flexed out.
But you've got two guys that possibly could come in motion to play essentially an inline tight end.
And Holgorsen's thinking, my little guy was getting whipped a couple weeks ago out on the perimeter. Let me try a guy that was coming out of the doghouse a little bit. Let me put him out here on the perimeter and give a new look or wrinkle to the same concept.
And give us a better chance to win that block.
Are you vibing with me, though?
Yeah.
Same concept.
Yep. Different
personnel, different formation, but they got to the same.
Better execution.
Okay. So if I'm Bonner, I'm never even coming inside.
Yeah.
I'm just out around.
He knows he's bouncing the entire time.
But that's pretty myopic, right? And Bonner may not used to be running this in the open field. I'm out right away immediately because this is
he probably should have gone a little wider.
It's a fantastic job by the force defender too.
To make him move.
100%. And Bonner makes the move. Banks is winning on the perimeter.
And Bonner's just fast enough to beat the inside linebacker.
He beats the inside linebacker.
Because he takes a bad angle.
And all of a sudden, you've got a big play.
You've got first down. That's a 10-yard play.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
12-yard play, maybe.
That's the difference. Same concept. He got to it a different way. It's what versatility within the personnel grouping allows you to do. And it shows within a couple of weeks the evolution of Coach Holgorsen understanding his personnel
a little bit better.
So give him a full offseason, and you're rolling.
That is our little RPO breakdown. We are working on a telestrator and being able to write on things moving forward. I know some people commented on that. We appreciate you.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Yeah, we're going to get this all figured out, but that's a little taste for you. We're going to work on some Pitt defensive line film as well for later in the week. But coming up next, we got the one and only Jay Foreman here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
It was my idea. You know, I do a lot of podcasts. People ask me, and I'm happy to do them. And as I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, why aren't we doing one? You know, my goal was to have it kind of in the off season, kind of leading into the season. It just took a lot to get it going because obviously we want to do it right. And so it's kind of delved into this season. But this is the new world of college sports. It's like, you know, one of my goals is to be able to do stuff with our players and hope that we can get them some NIL money from doing an interview with us. But I think, nationally, I think having a brand and having people, just even yesterday, like we put that out, and I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to watch yourself. A lot of you guys do it. I don't know how you do it. Like I was oh my gosh, this is terrible. But to be able to have it be Husker centric, but still touch other topics, hopefully. We can just continue to put the University of Nebraska and our football program out there for people to see, and I think for recruits, there's, I think I've said this to you guys before. If you have not gone to that second floor, you have to go walk through it. You guys, they should schedule probably something to show these guys this. Like.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
A lot of things in the first game come down, as you know, they come down like, I can't wait for the games tomorrow. I'm going to make a cut up and show our guys. Like, it's going to come down to special teams. It's going to come down to tackling. It's going to come down to turnovers. It's going to come down to mistakes early on. So we got the mock game last night, probably the best mock game I've ever been a part of in terms of the level of communication, guys communicating on and off the field. So I was really pleased last night. But I think that when I think about Cincinnati, they got off to a hot start last year. And, he's coaches in, I don't know if it's year 2 or year 3. This will be year 3. Same place we were, right? You get off to a hot start and then you have some tough losses. But the guys stuck around. They didn't all transfer out. They came back, which means they love Cincinnati. They love Coach Satterfield. And they're going to be a formidable opponent. They're the Big 12 is an excellent conference. And so we'll have our work cut out for us.
Welcome back. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We've got the one and only Jay Foreman, former Husker, joining us now. Jay, how are you this morning?
I'm doing all right, man. How you guys doing?
I'm good. You on the move this morning? You probably heading towards the facility, right? I thought I was going to get to see your bright shining face, man, and the new lock. So you're on the move?
No, I'm on the move, but not down to the facility. But yeah, it's I didn't know when practice was last night, so it's a little bit of miscommunication, but it's all good.
Hey,
but
so
it was all good. I probably wasn't in the right mind frame, if you know what I mean, to go to practice.
Hey, I hear you. I hear you. So you want to take that out on cousin Rico for dubbing you Frederick Douglass, or you're embracing that role well? I thought you looked fantastic in Vegas.
Man, it's all good. I understand it. I get it. Hate comes in all forms. And it's a little bit of, I always tell Rico he's vertically challenged, but he's still my brother, and I still love him to death.
Well, he finally cut his hair too, so he looks like a new man.
I know he tried to do Patrick Mahomes. I know what he's doing. I've been keeping an eye on Rico. He knows it.
So how you been, man? Like I thought that. I know players, we're different, and you're a lot more experienced now because you've been there and done that. But what do you think those guys feel, probably knowing it's not the first time they knew where they were going to belong, but the public will see the depth chart? How do you think those guys process that from a maturity standpoint?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think these day and age, we all were like, I shouldn't even say day and age, so let me just dial that back. Everybody wants that validation that you want to show, number one, to prove, validate yourself that the work that you put in, that you earn a spot. And so, everybody's where they're at right now, but then also I know that, it's one of those things you got to continue to prove yourself that you not only earned it, but then deserve that spot. And so it's just kind of like that instant gratification. You kind of know where you're at the starting point. Obviously some guys are, pretty locked in just based on what they've done in the past and what they've done in the present, which is, through camp. But, it's the one thing I will say is you got to go earn it, man. And you got to go play. And now I would say the silly time's over once spring ball's over, like all the, cupcakes and ice cream is over. Now you're playing for a tangible outcome, and that's obviously in the scoreboard. And so as exciting as it was to see it, and you kind of get into practice where, there's probably some scout team stuff going on, and you kind of get the pecking order of, you remember, Damon, like, all right, so-and-so gets this many reps and this, so you can kind of forecast how the game goes. But you can't let your guard down, because the plays that Damon gets, if we were in the running back room, Jay Foreman might get, or as far as the looks defensively. So now it comes down to intention when you're practicing, right? And it's a hard thing to do. We went through it, right, Damon? It's just like, you're excited to see where you're at. You're going to get in the game. And then that's, and you got to make sure you pivot hard, away from that. Because now you're going to fight a team that's potentially going to bite back. I think the first game is always the hardest, and it's probably a better opponent than normally you would play. And obviously Nebraska, played at Minnesota, so I'd probably, obviously apples to apples, Minnesota's probably a harder team to play. But in this pivotal year, potentially, or in theory, Cincinnati's a team that, presents some danger. And so you got to make sure you got to expect you're going to play the best version of Cincinnati come Thursday night.
Jay, as as we kind of see the depth chart and the way things have worked out and whatever we've been able to see of practice as well, is there a position group that you look at that you're excited to see on Thursday, either just because you like the guys in there or maybe you're not sure what you're going to see?
Well, I think, I'm probably excited to see what the offensive line is doing. Obviously, I think Elijah, being, I guess a co-starter, but obviously number 3, I guess potentially where he's at. And then obviously you see some emergence of, Gunnar Gatula. I want to see the improvement, in continuity, what they have, what they can present out there, both, game 1 and game 12. But I think the 2 position groups I'm excited to see, because I think it's sneaky depth, is the linebacker room, where it all shakes out. And I'm big in, role definition, and then in the running back / tight end room. Role definition, well, of those 3 groups or 2 groups, I combine the running backs and the tight ends, because it's like you know who the starters are, but then the other guys are there, but they kind of work in conjunction together.
Yep.
Is going to really tell the tale of, a big part of the season. Role definition to me is obviously you know who the lead dogs are, right? Emmett Johnson and Lyndon Meyer. But then where does, Carter Nelson fit in? Where does Harburg fit in? Where potentially does Bonner? He's kind of the Swiss Army knife. Where does he fit in? Then linebacker room, it's like, okay, you heard about Bauer. Okay, you got Javen Wright. You got the law firm, I call him.
Watson Trent.
You got Shavers. Yep, and then, I call him law firm. Anybody, you got a hyphenated name, you law firm.
Hey, so I'm still rocking with hyphenated last name. I'm gonna have to apologize to him, but he acts like he's older than me, so I'm sure he understands. Like my dude has got some maturation on him.
Yeah, he does, and he's battle tested, and so I think it's going to be interesting to see how they all kind of come together in the continuity there, because I think there's going to be a lot of guys they're going to get the chance to eat. And that group along with those groups I've mentioned, is going to be a continuation of raising the bar every day and every week. So I'm excited to see how they do. They got some sneaky matchups there. The linebackers, you got to deal with that tight end and the quarterback. So that's really where you can control the game from there. Feel good about, say, the back half and the nickels and all that, the kind of, unique names that they come up with. You can handle your business, right? Now, what you do with the linebacker, room, or how they play in nullifying the quarterback, the tight end, and, how they, can eliminate that short area passing game, which what I mean by that is, sure, they can run mesh, they can run crossing routes, but how well do we tackle, communicate, and limit the yards after catch? That's going to be huge. And then on the flip side, we got to do the same thing to them. You got big men in the middle. They got decent, safeties up the middle. You got Antoine Peak Jr., he's a thumper.
Yeah, he brings some drama, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, I play with his dad. Matter of fact, I changed his diapers. You know what I'm saying? I know him real well, and I know exactly how he's built. He will come. He's coming to rock. So if you come up there with your weapon on safety, you will get pistol whipped. I'm just telling you right now. He is not playing games. So if you can kind of get Cincinnati with their backs against the wall, I think it should. I wouldn't say it's going to be an easy game, but it's going to be a relatively kind of, open book story that you can, write your own ending to.
Let me ask you something, because I want to get into scheme here in a second. But, dad to dad here, I told you, listen, you're going to end up being right. You said you don't know much, but you do know football. Apparently, you know my son better than I do. But not just him, but the young guys in general. And Khan's not a young guy, but he's close, right? Caleb right there, Guthrie right there. But the maturity is in that back end, and they get a lot of the headlines. What are you telling those guys that situationally, even Donovan Jones, who you have to package, right? And he's going to play a ton, but there's Marshall there. Like, what are you telling the young guys with such established veterans that keep them hungry? Does that come from the culture? Is it an individual personality trait? Is it both? Is it how you rep them in practice that keeps them hungry? Like, what are you saying, knowing that those guys are so established on the back end?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both, but then, it's like, one, you want to make sure that
I mean, those guys are
how far
captains.
they off. Right, but that doesn't mean anything though, because really, to be honest with you, we got to win. Because captains or not, we got to win. And I feel confident in the older guys, but you got to understand. Look, this is a long season. Everybody's going to need to play. We're going to play you. You've proven yourself that you're number 2. So we get a chance to get you in there. We're going to see how you react. And I'm sure they've kind of dictated the reps in practice to make sure that you're just not sitting over there being okay with being okay. And that's where I think you've seen guys, the Joneses, obviously Caleb, Guthrie, where they're able to get enough reps to where they're gaining the confidence of the coaches and the other players, the veterans or not. Then also, I think more importantly, it comes to the seniors or the older guys, which are all the guys that are playing with the Hartsogs, obviously Buford, obviously Singleton, and then obviously Marshall and Wright, is that this is where you got to, pay it forward. You got to make sure they're working, because your legacy is built on what they do during and after you're gone. So it should be reloading. You should know who the foregone conclusion is of guys that are going to be big contributors next year based on what they do this year. So, and then plus, these guys, some of them have played a lot of reps, and you want to make sure that they're, at their peak come, Saturdays or whenever the games are. So you should be able to get enough amount of reps to where they're able to still stay competitive and also keep their knife nice and sharp from for game time.
Let me ask you something. We're talking. I loved what he said, because I think I know schematically what they want to do up front. Every question that I get about the defense is about stopping the run, and are they built to stop the run? He talked about being an explosive movement front, and there wasn't a more perfect guy to ask about kind of being undersized. You're used to that mug technique. Verzal told the funny story about when you got into Buffalo, and they joked about you being a 3 technique because of how Nebraska used you. You've heard Coach Snow say you stop the run with toughness. Do you equate size and girth and all of these questions that we have with Nebraska's ability to stop the run when you hear Coach Rule talk about being an explosive movement front?
Yeah, I mean, the game has changed to where the mentality of linemen, for the most part, is significantly different, right? It's position blocks, and they'll finish you and stuff, but back when I played and you played in that bubble technique or a 3, sometimes, they try to punish you, you know what I mean? And so you better be trump tight with your leverage, hand placement. You better be physically and obviously more importantly, mentally strong. I think what he means is, sure, you can scheme up some stuff, get on the move, but you can't just be okay with getting on the move. You got to be explosive, and what we used to call defensively is you got to be able to birth the lineman, right? And what I mean is you got to jolt them back, knock them back, and make them kind of stymie their progress. And obviously, muddy the waters for the running backs or the quarterbacks in the RPO as far as their running lanes and their vision. And that's what he means, is that they'll be able to stop the run. Number one, by lining up, being able to play with superior technique. I think, Coach Braden is really good at, coming in and kind of really harping on the details, because that's really what it's going to come down to. They got probably enough size to be, straight up like, isolation and being able to play. Now you got to get to your mindset is that we will play longer and harder with better technique and mental mindset to, win these games. And yeah, you got to be extremely tough, right? Toughness, everybody thinks toughness. This is the funny thing. Everybody that plays football is generally tough, right? And
for the most part, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, the outlier are the guys that aren't tough. They kind of look significantly different, and that's just because by position or just mental makeup. True tough football players is just a mentality, and that's just something that you got to really get yourself to, right? It's a culture thing. It's you got to demand it out of yourself. You got to envision it. You got to kind of lie to yourself, because I always say this: the Jay Foreman that walked out of here going to Buffalo, driving to Buffalo with about the same amount of anxiety that Nebraska players are about to play this weekend, wondering if I'm really that good, right? Should I turn around and go home if I'm really that good? Is not the same one as a freshman. When I was playing at starting as a redshirt freshman in 1995 on arguably the greatest team probably in Nebraska history, one of the greatest teams of all time out there. And then eventually it clicked to where, okay, this is what you need to do. And so it's more of a mentality thing and a prideful thing. And it's a lot of times you can clean that up by effort. and busting your tail to the ball, because when you want to get somewhere and you know exactly what you're doing, there's nobody that can block you. And really, to be honest with you, the third point is like the communication allows the defensive line to play with what Coach Rule says of being very explosive and vicious, where they want to go. Because the worst thing that you can do at the second and third level, and you know this from coaching, Damon, is have these guys not knowing where they're going.
Yeah.
Because look, they got a hard job. They got to line up. They got 2 or 3 guys that can block them. My job was to allow Jason Peter and Christian and Holgorsen and Grant and all those guys and Mike Rucker and let them go do their thing, and I could, then I find my way and get in where I fit in. And that's where you really will take the turn. Once they get their non-negotiables down, say like the first, second, what is, I guess their top, 26, 27 players. I don't know how many they take, but you just say like your travel roster, right? So they say you have your non-negotiables with your, your playing units, your non-negotiables, what you're going to do every single day. Then you learn from, okay, how can I be better at a 50-50 ball? How can I be better at like really attacking this lineman, or maybe cutting off the angle in this play where I'm stressed as far as the running game goes? And so you got to just understand, in this game right here, Cincinnati's going to probably come out with 2 or 3 new wrinkles, right? They'll show it in the first 2 or 3, 4 series. Then they got to play football. So as long as you just really, really lock in on the fundamentals and communication, even if it kind of works out a little bit, you'll be able to, play another play. And that's really where it comes down to it. And then the toughness will come into it, where the training is, where you've been able to be in a physical training camp to really wear those guys out.
So, Jay, we were talking earlier about Williams-Winnari in his role on this team, right?
Yeah.
He's a unique body type for this defensive line at this group, right? 6'7", almost 270 pounds, somewhere in there, but really athletic at that frame. Looks like a guy that could just as easily stand up as put his hand in the ground. Like, when you see a guy with that body type and his ability, what if your defensive line coach Terry Braden or defensive coordinator John Butler, what do you do with a Williams-Winnari?
Hey, man, first of all, like, I've been to just a couple practices, man. My man has really changed his body.
Hey, do you can I just tell, do you remember watching him? And we're looking at his body type. And you look at me, and I think Jay Moore is over there. I was late coming over to you, and I panicked because I thought you were going to be mad that I hadn't said something yet. And we're like, can you imagine if the lights just come on with that frame, what you could do? Do you remember those discussions?
Yeah. Oh,
well, apparently the light came on.
Yeah, and that, you got to give him credit. I think, you come in and I think, sometimes, look, he's probably been out big probably since his like sophomore in high school, I bet, right? So you just, I mean, just like, hey, look, he's just out there just running through cats. And so when you get up there and everybody's bigger, faster, stronger, you got to really find a different way to, be a better football player. And you got to give him credit. Give him credit for this, where you have to probably have some hard talks, had to deal with the pressure coming here, reshape his body. And I think, I can't speak for the coaches, but I think he's probably made some plays to where I think the best thing you do is like, hey, to sit in and say, okay, what do you know? What do you like to do? And then match that with in your scheme and say, okay, this is your job. Go destroy everybody. I think the more that, I think the less he does early, like as far as like all like the different types of stuff, and allow him to get that confidence and play to his natural ability, I think he'll be able to make up for any type of like, discrepancies of what, whether he's in a 6 or, tight 7 or whatever. I think you just let him, get out there and use his natural God-given ability, because he's strong, right? He's out by being in better shape and reshaping his body. He can play longer than he could in the spring, and he seems like he's willing. It's not. I think sometimes where, I play with guys, and this is just in the NFL. I play with guys that look like that. Were just freak athletes. They didn't want to do anything besides just do less. He's a kid I think that really wants to. He just got to get his technique together, and then the rest is going to be history.
He seems like a quiet guy too. So he kind of comes across as a little aloof too. Sometimes those guys are hard to read.
Yeah, but I like that, man. I like.
But actually, me too, especially in the D linemen, because they come across as kind of nutty.
Yeah, and that's fine. But you know what? He just got here in the spring, right? That's what. Well, probably January. So February. He's still trying to get his feet wet and learn. The team and the players in the room and trying to establish himself. I respect that. If number one, if he's an introvert, I just need you to be an extrovert. 4 hours a week. That's it. I don't need it. You don't got to be. I don't care what what I'm saying.
Is that what you told? Is that what you told Sam Adams?
Hey, I just need you to be an extrovert 4 days a week. That's it. I don't care about that, right? And handle your business. So I think he's fine, man. I think he's just probably learning, and every day is a work day for him. And I think he's up there on the starting. And so look, man, he's a guy that you got to earn it, and now he's got to go out there and really put it on display. All the work he's put in through this off season. So and there's a lot of guys that are like this. Everybody on that team, which is crazy. You have a team. Sure, you got the guys that are always on the internet or whatever, but you got every single one of those guys that, like, let's just say you're 22 guys that run out there, and the 25. Let's just specialists as well, right? Everybody's got something to prove. There's nobody that's like, okay, I'm Travis Hunter. And
that's probably accurate. That's
nobody feels like they made it.
Not a one. Even for a guy like he wants to prove different conference, same dude, right?
Well, here's the deal. Like with him, right? He's came in and you can see the maturity of him, right? And he's got a little bit of swaggerlicious to him. And I'm always leaning toward the brother light skins. We do our thing. We just let we back, right? But
that's actually why I like Makai too. He doesn't let the smooth taste fool you.
Nah. Hey man, Bone Thugs a heart me. He's gangsters in the mug.
He is all. Listen, I already know.
Hey, he on 100. He wake up on 100. You got to get him to the starting block. But I think though, really, with Dane Key, when you're thinking about it, here's what people will do, right? You're in the SEC, which they think is essentially one step down from the NFL, right? And so he had a good year. You know what people are saying? Here's what people would say. Well, you did it at Kentucky. Okay, but can you do it again?
Yeah.
And but that's also the thing. That's a great coaching point. Like, look, you get in the NFL, you have a good year, and say you're on the Browns or whatever, and say you end up at the Eagles, they'll be like, oh, can you do it for the Eagles? There's no, and I'm not comparing Nebraska to the Eagles, but I'm just saying there's always doubt. There's doubt every single year, and so that's good. And so therefore you're going to get maximum effort and production, and obviously the work ethic, because that will, if he sets the table, then the same thing with Barney. Okay, you had a really good year as a freshman, but can you do it the sophomore? Dylan, can you take a big jump? Emmett, you've never been the guy. Can you handle it okay, we've seen 3 games, but can you do it at 4 times?
All the examples I use.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny you use those examples, because that's exactly how I feel. So even for a guy like Barney, who, by the way, do you have a practice comp for Barney that I could relate?
I play with a
I
play with a brother named Kevin Williams.
The little receiver, 85?
Hey, I played with him in Buffalo. K-Dub was on point all day long. But in our time, Barney reminds me personality-wise of Jock Allen.
Yeah. Just relentless.
Just relentless, and obviously always, look, and that's what you need. You need guys like that on team. But K-Dub, like when I played with him in Buffalo a couple years. That's how he was. Him and a guy that his name was Eric Brown. We used to call him Wolfman. He was a safety. Those are the type of guys that are truly competitors, and that's just who he is. And it's needed. And everybody has something to prove defensively. You got guys like Judy. Can you take a big step up? You're a senior leader. Van Poppel. You got talent, and you shown. Can you do it? Everybody has it. I mean, this is a great time to be a coach, to where you don't have anybody that has like the senioritis or I made it-itis, and they all got to go out there and prove it.
I'm so glad you said that about Makai. He was over one day, and I didn't believe that he was over 200 pounds, and He looked dead at me at the dinner table, and he said, he said, yeah, I'm 202. I said, man, you're not 202. He looked dead at me. He said, you got a scale? Like, that's how he said it. I was like, I think you're a guest, but you said it says conviction and hair on your chest. I'll cave. I was like, no, man, I believe you. Like, he does not play around.
No, I mean, it's an opportunity for him. I mean, it's all these stuff are, right now, like the good thing about this team right now, I get, like I said, I'm not coaching, but I'm just saying for just the outside looking in. There's probably been years when we had, Grandpa Mike Riley and all those guys. You probably just like, okay, we got a few options, right? And only, even smaller answers. Now they got a lot of options, in legitimate scenarios, but now these guys got to go out there and be the answers. And that's a good position to be in. Now the hardest part is, you work hard to make, where you have legitimate options, where guys, like Mackay, and then you have Mosey, who done a, great job of, transition from receiver to running back. And you got, the Carter Nelson and Harburgs and a lot of options, right? Different body types, Bonners and all those guys, right? Now they got to go out there and be the answers. And you won't become the answer off of one game. You have to be the answer, consistently being that guy. And that's how you consistently be in the hunt. The guys that turn from options to answers, which we were fortunate enough to play with a ton of guys that took on that opportunity. And that's what this team has to do right now.
That's our guy, Jay Foreman, former Husker. Jay, great stuff. Let's talk again soon.
Hey,
David, are you going? Do you got a game Thursday?
Listen, man, I'm going with who pays me more. No, I'm just playing. Yes, I'm going. I'm torn, man. It's Micah's first start, and I haven't slept in 2 weeks, man. I got a lot of guilt, but it's easier to be replaced at the high school level than it is for play fly, man. So I will bells and whistles on, man. I'm in Kansas City.
I got you. Yeah, man. But Westside, they probably stream those games, so you'll be able to do everything, right?
I mean, we had production meetings last week. Listen, it's Kyle's first broadcast, right? So, I mean, this will be about as buttoned up. I'll have very little wiggle room in my pregame. This dude's going to have me on point. So I'd like to dabble and watch, but I need his blessing first, man. I don't know. Crooks he should have been a coach. I've never met a play-by-play guy that loves football, is like actual football, as much as he does. I mean, he's as much into scheme as he is like the delivery. You know what I mean? He's a football guy.
Yeah, well, that's good then, man. It's that'll make it easier. Listen, you guys are best. You guys will get it. Once the game starts, you guys are in it.
Yeah.
You get a little break.
But believe me,
you got to give him a little elbow grease.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, is Lil Cannon or Darian Jones, have they just house one on us? Like, I will. It'll be hard not to have my attention split.
Yeah, but you'll be all right though. You know what, man? Westside got good staff. You'll be all right.
Hey, I love the. I always love when you bring back the whole gun with the safety, man. Take off your safety and chase me. Gunpowder chowder for real.
Reggie Herring told me you run up in there with your weapon on stage, you're gonna get pistol whipped. He said that from experience. That's he said, his roommate was Ron Simmons or whoever from Florida State. Yeah. I was like, okay, Reggie. Yeah. Don't come in there with your weapon on safety, boy. You get pistol whipped.
All right, man. I'm trying to get some of that swagalicious, Jay. That's all. That's all I want.
You'll be all right.
All right,
man.
All right, buddy.
I'll holler at you guys, man. Be good.
Yep.
That's Jay Foreman. Good stuff there from Jay, as always.
Oh, man.
You're only going to get that so many places.
He said, Mackay he said, you just got to get him to the starting line. Exactly. Exactly.
Well, this weekend where you got to get to is Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Got all the games all week, all the college football you can handle, and still got the summer specials out there. Still warm enough outside. Still got the summer specials as well. Make sure you come check it out, either location in La Vista or Gretna. We're going to take a quick break here. Wrapping up the show, we're going to talk to Anna Bellinghausen. We got a little time before that. Maybe we'll get into a little NFL, see what's been going on.
You guys love those film studies, man. You send us some clips. We'll break it down for you.
Yeah, we'll get we're gonna get our technology game right too as we go through options, so we can get DB on the telestrator, get some highlighter, and get the whole thing going.
Let's not overdo it.
Get the whole thing going. We're gonna put them up on a whiteboard, something. We'll figure it out. That's DB. I'm Ravi. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming next.
It was my idea. I do a lot of podcasts. People ask me, and I'm happy to do them. And as I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, why aren't we doing one? My goal was to have it kind of in the off season, kind of leading into the season. It just took a lot to get it going because obviously we want to do it right. And so it's kind of delved into this season. But this is the new world of college sports. It's like, one of my goals is to be able to do stuff with our players and hope that we can get them some NIL money from doing an interview with us. But I think, nationally, I think having a brand and having people, just even yesterday, like we put that out, and I don't know, it's really hard to watch yourself. A lot of you guys do it. I don't know how you do it. Like I was oh my gosh, this is terrible. But, to be able to have it be Husker centric, but still touch other topics, hopefully, we can just continue to put the University of Nebraska and our football program out there for people to see. And I think for recruits, there's, I think I've said this to you guys before. If you have not gone to that second floor, you got to go walk through it. You guys, they should schedule probably something to show these guys this. Like,
They're both playing so great in practice, and we thought Virginia earned a start and Allie earned a start, and it's early, so we want to learn about our team. And I've been preaching to these guys like they have to make each other better, and we're going to use everybody on this roster when we need them. And so, what a better atmosphere to play this in. I also think there's a part of me, you want to give your players these great opportunities, and so it's Pinnacle Bank Arena, sold out crowd. I wanted Allie to have that moment also, just like I wanted Virginia to have it. So it's just cool to have the opportunity to do each of them, play each of them a match and get them experience, but also just soak in Nebraska volleyball.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you can access your home's equity for the cash you want, when you want it, and when you need it. Whether it's for a remodel, a little vacation, maybe you're like me, you're really optimistic about Nebraska season. You go, hey, might need a little cash to go to a college football playoff game. Then you can get equity out of your home through Centris Federal Credit Union. Go to centrisfcu.org to find out more. Find out what your options are, and it typically offers lower interest rates than credit cards or personal loans. Make sure you go check it out. Federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender.
What up?
DB, you were talking about something earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Best athletes on campus, and you brought up a guy in Jeremiah Charles.
Yes.
Right? Some people affectionately call him JJ. I don't know him that well, so I'm going to call him Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Or Mr. Charles.
Oh, he's so good natured. What's up, fam?
So I had a question for you.
Okay.
Right? Because Bruce Feldman, who I've got a bone to pick with you tomorrow, Bruce, but he put out his college football playoff, and it is stupid.
Why?
It's pretty dumb. I'm not going to get sidetracked though. We're
focused.
So he puts his freaks list out every year, right?
Yep.
And I'm not under any impression that these are the only 100 freak athletes in all of college football. I understand he gets nominations from coaches and whoever, but I've been thinking about this for a few weeks now.
It has been on the rundown for
forever. That's what I'm getting to. That's why I'm not letting you get me distracted.
Oh, shoot.
Jeremiah Charles, obviously on the list. But if you had to name a few of the freakiest athletes on Nebraska's team,
yeah,
who else is making that list? I'm going to guess Williams Winnari.
Oh, for sure.
For size, weight, movability,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Who are some of those other guys? Because whether they made Bruce's list or not, I don't care. But I'm curious for our sakes, for our fan
I think
base.
Keona Davis is on that list.
Oh, I love to hear that.
Certainly, Jeremiah Charles is on that list. The way that he can contort his level of explosiveness, Quinn Clark is kind of freaky.
Okay.
He's kind of freaky.
He made a couple contested catches in the open practice that I was impressed with.
Yeah, Quinn's pretty sweet. But I would start with those guys.
Start with that group.
I definitely would start with Andy Jackson.
Is there any? Well, obviously we know Andy Jackson. We're going to talk volleyball with Anna Bellinghausen here in just a second. But is there anyone are there any of the? I mean, you mentioned Keona. Do any offensive linemen you look at and you go, that guy for how big he is freaky?
Probably Pritchett.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched him and I get it because it was kind of silly and whatever, but the competitive games, to watch him get on all fours and to pull the sled and then to hop up and courage and just the body movements that he's capable of. He's not a stiff guy. He's extremely agile for his size.
What do you do with we hear how well he tests all the time. What do you do with a Deshaun Singleton?
So Singleton's interesting because you never see it. So here's the weird,
which by the way is what bothers me about him.
So I'm gonna,
just for what it's worth,
I'm gonna land the plane for you. One of the things that I think bugs you about D. Singleton?
What's that?
He's very efficient with his movements, and sometimes probably to your eye a little too much. Singleton reminds me of a guy that's always got something in the reserve, and you want to see him just empty the clip.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's fair.
But a lot of that is his personality, though. He's very efficient with his movements.
So I think what bothers me is I can't tell if he's just efficient with his movements or if there actually is something left in the tank.
So I'm going to err on the side of my glass is half full. He hadn't emptied the clip yet. You may see it get emptied, though. Were you surprised that so many DBs were captains?
Yeah, I was. I'm surprised there were that many that were single digit. I'm surprised there was that many that were captains. I'm surprised. Now, they are an older group on the team. So that makes a little bit of sense to me, especially if you got a lot of young guys sort of deferring to the experience. But I am surprised because I like Buford. I don't know if I captain single digit love Buford. I don't really like Singleton, if I'm being honest. Not as personal.
I think you want to – Buford's a guy you want to rock with.
Totally understand that, and I agree. And
he's
I'll ride with Hartzog. I know people hate on –
he's going to give it everything he's got,
which is why I don't have
all the time.
Which is why I don't have a problem with Buford or Hartzog. I get Hartzog's been in some positions we didn't love that he had to be in, but I love the fact that he was willing to be in those positions, right? That's a guy I never wonder if Hartzog's got anything left in the clip or not. That's a guy I know emptied it, right? But I do look at that and I go, that is interesting. Like, if you're going to have that many leaders in that group, they better be pretty good.
Yeah, well, it's funny how Jay put a pin in my balloon when I talked about those guys being captain on the back end. He's like, that don't mean anything. You got to win. I was like, I agree. I just probably wouldn't have said it like that. But
hey, much like Coach.
But that's what you want Foreman to say something like that, right? So you're not married just because.
Yeah, much like Coach Rule, you can leave from the sideline.
Yeah.
All right. Have fun over there. Speaking of leaders.
Well, trust me, as a guy that was a captain and not a full-time starter,
yeah.
I know.
Let's shift gears here. You mentioned Andy Jackson in our freak athlete conversation. Let's talk a little Husker volleyball with Anna Bellinghausen here from Hurrdat Sports. Anna, what's going on?
Okay, I'm looking at this lower third here. Can bench press 225 15 times. Oh man, what year is that from?
Listen, hey, AZBZ, you work with these yahoos. You get it. Like,
I love it.
They're very creative folks. Very, and you can't put those two together either. I mean, it's just it's foolishness galore.
Oh yeah, my office is right across the way from them, so I hear it all.
I couldn't imagine. Bless your heart.
I gotta shut my door. I shut my door for this reason specifically.
I'm a little surprised you didn't shut their door. Just be like, hey, you guys just stay in there. You guys,
your
little closet and hang out there.
Way better idea.
Anna, this weekend obviously got the Nebraska volleyball season off to a start with, I don't know how else to put it, a couple dominating performances, made a couple really good volleyball teams look pretty average. Were you surprised at all just at how good Nebraska looked just immediately, considering the coaching change and everything that happened this offseason?
I would say yes and no. The part that doesn't surprise me is the depth of this team and the talent. We knew that coming in, right? But also there's still nerves, and you're playing at Pinnacle Bank Arena. There's 15,000 plus fans there. They got the light show going on. I've been to Final Fours. It felt like a Final Four atmosphere right off the bat. I mean, you've been in preseason camp for, the past few weeks officially, and then you're kind of just thrown right into the fire. So that part, yes, did surprise me with just how well everything was executed from, Bergen, getting everybody involved, just the distribution of her, and then just the stars shine. And the newcomers did too, including Ali Czech last night, which was really impressive. The Baylor transfer, I think she really showed what she can do and what she's capable of. But yeah, yes and no surprise, not surprised because we know the talent coming into this. They have that number one preseason ranking for a reason, and they showed it this weekend.
Yeah, it's almost I was telling Ravi, when you have the expectations, it's hard not to fast forward to the end because they're going to be judged on whether they win a championship or not. But they are uniquely built. Not only do they have a fresh set of eyes with DBK kind of at the helm, but, I mean, for as much as you still have a Czech and Adriano and how they use the two and what are they going to do opposite and, hitting out of the back and versatility. If you give yourself a chance to not fast forward, if the day-to-day is still grimy too, right? Is that kind of what we're banking on with this team, that they're not going to see the end of the rainbow because the day-to-day could be a lot of rigor.
Well, I think what will make this team successful down the stretch, because you can have all the talent in the world, but what matters is, are these girls pushing each other in practice, and are they not afraid to try to win spots, right? Nobody's backing down. For example, Ali Czech and Virginia Adriano, DB, you already brought it up. That battle at opposite is going to be ongoing throughout the year. You still have Ryan Hunter, who's a freshman, we've yet to see if she's redshirting or not. So there's already so much competition in that gym. The outsides, I mean, Danny said it herself, I want to play everybody on this team. And if I'm a Nebraska volleyball player, that's instilling to me, hey, my spot is not guaranteed on this team, because I know the freshmen, I know the transfers that are in here, they're all pushing me to be the best that I can be. So I think that's what's going to serve this team so well down the road, is literally just their depth. I mean, there's 17 strong on this team. All 17 players could play. I think the B team, and I'm saying B team in quotes, could be a top 10 team in the nation too. There's so much talent on this roster. You can't take a day off. And I think that's what's going to push them and propel them throughout the season.
I was explaining to Ravi sometimes a fresh set of eyes may be just what the doctor ordered, even though you're losing a Hall of Fame coach like Coach Cook, because of the way this roster is constructed, right? I mean, you probably always feel from a depth standpoint that you're always in the hunt, because DBK is very versatile, especially offensively, right? Whether she can set the middle, she's going to play strengths depends. She can play offense out of the back. If you know that she's going to play matchups, that's going to just naturally keep you engaged, right, for a team like this?
Oh, 100%. And like I mentioned, she wants to play everybody on this team. If it was up to her, she probably wouldn't have anybody redshirt because she wants to see how much talent there is. And obviously, like, yes, there probably will be red shirts down the road, but that is just how much talent DBK has to work with. And I think, I mean, yeah, she showed it. She started Allie one match, started Virginia the other, and there was no like rhyme or reason. She kind of was just like, hey, I wanted to give them both an opportunity. I mean, imagine just having that flexibility as a coach to be like
against top level opponents.
Yeah, against a top 6 team and a top 3 team in the nation, be like, oh no, today I feel like starting this player. But that's just because of the talent that's been built up. And to your point about Cook leaving, like it is a fresh new perspective for that team. And I think that can be very welcomed in that gym, especially when you're reaching the primes of those players too. Like what new things can we throw at you? Because I think Harper Murray told me this in our preseason interview. She's like, I might not get, technically better at volleyball, but what I can be better at is my leadership on the court. So she knows like there's a peak for all athletes, right? And so like you might not be necessarily getting better. I mean, over time, when you have a skill that you've mastered, you technically decline in skill, right? So I think having a new thing to challenge her, and that being DBK and the flexibility in the gym, the new drills, I think the offense is a faster tempo. Bergen's being pushed even more, especially by Campbell Flynn, who we know is not going to redshirt this season. Like that has to just add just more fuel to the fire for that team of just so many options. But yeah, DBK is definitely a fresh new perspective. And it was so awesome just seeing her sit there and kind of smile at this team and being like, yeah, we're good.
I was joking with Jay Johnson yesterday. Well, I was probably joking. She probably was like, this dude is crazy, and I just want to eat my breakfast. But I was talking about the entrances and the electricity in the building and how the sport is just kind of, I mean, it is its own rock star. It's a deal now, a total vibe. And she's just talking about the level of competition from, even a couple years ago when she started to like where it is now. And I just got to thinking on my way leaving, I'm like, we legitimately saw multiple player of the year candidates, and a few of them are within 45 miles of each other in the state of Nebraska. You look at Ava Martin.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make the case she was as good as anybody over the weekend individually. And it's like just the depth locally is pretty impressive for the growth of the sport.
No, it's ridiculous how much talent is in the state of Nebraska. I don't have the number in front of me, but I think Stu Pospisil pulled how many Division I athletes in volleyball there are that have come from Nebraska. And it's impressive just how much talent is here. It's a hotbed, and not only does it attract talent in the state, but also, those players are going elsewhere and getting more Power 5 opportunities. So it's awesome that the talent in the state has been recognized. You bring up Ava Martin. She's not from Nebraska, but still, bringing that talent to the state, there's a reason why players want to play here in Nebraska, whether it's Creighton, Omaha, Nebraska, Wayne State, Kearney. Like you look across the state, like every volleyball program in this state is good. And I think there's just a standard of excellence here. And I think that goes all the way back to what Terry Pettit did in setting the standard at Nebraska. Like you just know if you're playing volleyball in the state, it's going to be good. And yeah, I think Ava Martin is one of the most underappreciated players in the nation. Like her name needs to be said 10 times more this year because she's an incredible athlete. And I mean, Brian Rosen, the new Creighton head coach, even said it after the matchup against Penn State, like, hey, Ava was the best player on the court and they're the reigning champs.
Yeah, and that was against – I'm inclined to agree. Like, I look at the difference. I was looking at Penn hitters, and I look at Pitt, and maybe it was because they played Nebraska, but Ava Martin doesn't have to take a backseat to anybody. But
no, yeah.
Player of the years or not, like, she's the real deal.
She is. I'm really excited for the Blue Jays this season, too, and Brian Rosen. Speak of another new, fresh perspective, too. It was cool to see Coach Booth sitting and watching and just cheering on our team, but I know that squad is just loving what Brian Rosen has brought to this team. I mean, he's ran practices the past few years, so they're used to him already. So, I think it's going to be a really exciting year for both those squads.
And I mentioned the Penn State Creighton matchup a little bit there. I'm curious if you thought that told you more about Penn State and where they're at and whether they might be able to siphon some of those first place votes off of Nebraska, or if it told you more about Creighton and maybe them not being, I mean, when the preseason poll came out, I thought 12 was maybe a little high for Creighton. I was thinking more late teens.
Yeah.
Considering what they're replacing. But who do you think you learn more about there?
That's a great question. I think, I mean, this is a cop-out answer, but both. I really do think Penn State is going to be Nebraska's biggest competition this year. I don't think that's any secret. And the Big Ten runs through Nebraska and Penn State this season, no doubt. I think we saw all the question marks answered with Penn State and what they lost from last year, but their returners are great, and their coach is just so confident in that team, and I think you saw that with, sweeping Creighton. But I will say, like, the Blue Jays put up a fight. They were right there. And, I mean, they took that Penn State team to 5 sets last year and just missed out on the Final Four. They wanted to get that revenge, unfortunately fell short. But Creighton, I think, once they get a few more matches under their belt, I mean, they have Texas up next. Is the number 5.
Nice scheduling with Wisconsin and Texas coming.
No, it's hilarious because Rosen said it afterwards. He's like, I don't know what crazy person scheduled this, but she was in the building tonight, obviously referring to Coach Booth. But yeah, that was the parting gift that she left Brian Rosen. But that's going to tell you a lot about this team. So I don't know if that match will dictate how Creighton's season is going to go. I mean, I think the match was a lot closer than seeing a sweep on paper. I think they were right there in terms of talent with Penn State. And like we mentioned, I truly do think Ava Martin was the best player between both those teams.
I think it's unfortunate, but my biggest takeaway is Coach Fisher's personality for Pitt. I'm like, if any team reflects their coach's personality, it's got to be Pitt. He was all over the place. And there was a point, AZBZ, where I was like, is this a bit? Or is he really like that? But his team plays like that too. It was a heck of an environment to kind of just learn how people handle the cinema of it.
Hey, I'm all for more emotions in college volleyball. Like, give me all the smack talk, give me all the stare downs. Like, we don't need to throw, I mean, there's no penalty flags, but we don't need to throw any penalty flags out there. Like, I want to see that competitive fire that we get in football, basketball, etc. I want to see that in volleyball because it's such a growing sport and it's so fun to watch. Like, it is one of the best sports for television, truly. And I think we saw that over this weekend. It's on Fox, it's on ESPN. This coming weekend, it's on ABC for Nebraska and Kentucky. Like, the growth is incredible, but like, I'm all for the personalities. Like, give me all of it. I'm here.
I've said this, Shane, for how long? I don't know, maybe double-digit years. When volleyball is played at a high level, it is aesthetically the most pleasing sport to watch on television. It is absolutely incredible when it's played at a high level. I mean,
and maybe the sport that's the best both in person and on TV.
Yeah. Oh, it probably belongs in that discussion.
I mean, it translates very well in both formats.
Yeah, I just like to watch Andy Jackson just jump over my head. It's pretty impressive.
That's Anna Bellinghausen, Hurrdat Sports. We will talk to you again soon. Anna, appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, AB.
See ya.
That is the show for today. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back tomorrow. Guys, it's game week.
That is.
We've got football in less than 3 sleeps.
Let's get it cracking.
Let's get it cracking. Hey, you know what you got to remember, though?
What's that?
Hey, don't have that safety on your weapon. You know why?
I don't want to get pistol whipped.
You don't want to get pistol whipped. We'll be back tomorrow on Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.